Well, you know, my IQ is 10 points short of a radish, so we got that going for us as well. But hello, everybody. Hello, lions. Hello, wheels. Hello, everyone who's lurking and twerking and jerking in the background. I'm probably going to have to cut that out of YouTube as well. But this is our lovely episode 3, where we're going to be discussing Antarctica and all of the creepy crawly things that go on in the background of this. Oh, and I got my emote back. Yes, nice, lions, nice. So, Kat, I changed the thingy again. Tiny, I swear to God, we're not doing this today. Calm down, buddy.
Oh, you know what? I love it. Again, I think it's great. That. Picasso.
Excuse me? Picasso. But yeah, so it's like Picasso. I'm putting our little themes into like the middle whenever I get a chance. Yeah, I can hear you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm like...
Miss my bunny jam emote? Yep, you had to get that back. You had to get it back.
Let us turn up the beat. Absolutely.
Let me just check on my thing.
Where's Lions from that they want to adopt us?
Lions is in Denmark, and he is going to be he's going to be adopting us, and we're going to be living in Denmark in Lion's basement.
I have a friend in Denmark. She's really cool and very sweet and very nice. And and also the ex of my ex, but we are friends still.
The ex of my ex.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, we got all the exes going. The ex of my ex.
But I love my Denmark.
Welcome
people.
to the country with the highest taxes.
Yeah, but you guys also have like the greatest services.
It's true, though. It's true. They really are taken care of. Like, they take care of their people. Lions, we'll protect you. We'll be your bodyguards from all the aliens and the creepy crawly things and all the scary things out there.
Yeah, what's much of my body you can have.
There's what? Wait, what? Have bodies? We can have bodies?
Actually, I shouldn't say that. No one can have my body. I am not for sale. Please.
Okay, I'm playing copyright-free music in the background now.
You
can't use me. At least it says DCMA free world tracks. Okay, cool.
Oh, actually, let me do that too, because
just to give a little bump in the background, just a little background bump.
Yeah.
Because once we get started on this, I'm gonna be like going because there's so much, like, I don't know, Lions. I know I need that protection. Yeah. Lions, I don't know if you've watched any of our episodes that we've posted before, but when we get on like tangents about stuff, like there's a lot out there going on that like the world is a very weird place right now, and it's a very like questionable place, if we could put it at that. So it's one of those things where like, even if you don't think something's real, you still got to kind of pay attention to it because like tomorrow it could be real. All right, I don't even know.
That's actually a really good synth track for this.
This is DCMA free, so we're gonna see. It's like K-poppy, so.
Yeah, I've got the DMCA retro wave mixtape.
I haven't seen your podcast, but I've seen a lot of conspiracies that low-key make sense in some way. Yes, they do, and it's
Measly. I don't have any. I just checked, but yeah, I saw that. I don't have any, which I think is kind of weird because I've been watching people all week since the 24th, and I don't have any percentage on mine, so I can't claim shit yet.
So I brought your stream up, and in the top right corner it said, "Watch this stream to earn points."
Yeah.
So your stream is actively contributing to like me getting points.
This is good.
Mine should be for you as well. I don't know why your page wouldn't do anything, but maybe it will. Maybe it'll start now because you touched it.
Oh, maybe.
Once you touch the butt.
Thank you for the follow, Lions. Appreciate you.
Let me zoom in. Okay, so I have like looked up so much stuff, and I know you have too. And I like your idea of doing Antarctica because I love that when I scroll TikTok recently. Oh God, my pod is like freaking leaking. Good thing I'm changing it tonight. When I scroll TikTok recently, the amount of conspiracies that are popping up and then staying on my page, like I'm not liking these videos. I'm not doing anything more than maybe sending them to you or whatever when I see stuff that's interesting. And then all of a sudden my entire page is just stuck on this theme for like 2 days straight. And it's like really, really interesting to me because there's so many people paying attention and covering this stuff, and it's like,
And the people who want to like storm Antarctica.
yeah. But the thing is, like, how much of it is real?
I
And
also
how much
think
is
that's
like
kind of
fake,
dangerous.
right? It is very dangerous because it's almost all military bases up there.
Exactly. I'm like, y'all gonna
literally,
storm like Area 51 was like on a skeleton crew, okay? Like they
Yes.
didn't care. They were basically like retirees or individuals. Like they were not
supposedly
there
they already
to like
moved
risk
all
their
their
lives.
stuff out of Area 51 anyway. Like it's not
And
even
they
there.
already moved all the stuff. Yeah.
Like that place is just smoke and mirrors now to like keep your eyes off of the real prize, which is like the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, which has been doing all the sketchy shit from the beginning. Supposedly
And
that
that's
base
why I
has been
think it's
doing everything.
interesting when Obama said that like everyone thinks it's under Area 51. It's not like, yeah, of course it's not when you moved it. So technically he's telling the truth, but he's also telling the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's saying like, oh, it was.
My neck's gonna crack.
But
There we go.
I love
Get
cracking
into
my
it.
neck. Doing the shaky shakes
Getting
again.
into
All
it.
right, we'll be finding a shaky shake video this weekend, guys. Me and Myth Cat again. In the pineapple shorts again.
In the pineapple shorts.
But yeah, so when I was looking up a bunch of stuff, it was like, I don't know how much of it, like, you'll have to tell me if any of this makes sense to you, because not all of it makes sense to me. If you've looked up any of this stuff before too, but the whole thing, like, I didn't pay attention to Antarctica at all. I was like, oh, you know, penguin sanctuary, like all this other stuff. But then after all these conspiracy theories started coming out over the last year or two, and it kind of triggered people and made them kind of think at a higher wavelength and start paying more attention to this stuff, it kind of came down to like, okay, well, what is real and what isn't? So like you started seeing all these AI videos that you think are AI videos that had to do with Antarctica. And I'm like, why do people give a shit about Antarctica? Like that doesn't make any sense. It's just like an ice block or whatever. And then I started realizing like now like all these streamers are trying to go there because they're the people who want to stir up shit. Like they're the type of streamers who go places when there's shit happening because they want to stir up shit. And then now the government's like blocking air traffic from flying over there, and you can't get there by boat, and the blah blah blah, and they're quarantining off the internet. You can't do this, and now everyone's paying attention to it. And they're like, wait, why are you doing that? Like that makes no sense. Like if you're just a block of ice or whatever, like who cares? Like let people film or let people talk on their satellite phones and stuff. And they're literally like confiscating all of that when you first get there. And it's that, like, I'm sorry, but like we've talked about this before, when the government start limiting things, that's when people start paying attention. Like if they really wanted to hide something, they just need to let you do whatever the hell you want, because then people won't give a shit. So did you have any specific yes, Robbie, the Antarctic Treaty? Yes, I have that written here. I don't know much about it, but I gotta look into that.
I think it's interesting that all of the leaders actually just recently went there, apparently, as well. Apparently, that's what not TikTok. That's what Instagram is saying, is that the world leaders just recently all went to this no-fly zone. They all went there to land, and I'll touch on that a little bit. I want you to get into all the other things because, like, I have, my brain. I've got scattered rabbit holes all up in here. Like, I have so many holes in my brain, guys. That's crazy.
Well, isn't the treaty like the first thing that happened though that made people question it? Like what Robbie said. Like, isn't the Antarctic Treaty, now that has to do with like multiple countries, including ones that we're not friends with, essentially, agreeing that everyone, military and government wise, would have access to Antarctica, but normal people wouldn't. So I know it limited military activity and promoted scientific cooperation, which, first off, if this was a nothing place, right? Like kind of like Robbie brought up the treaty itself. If this was a nothing place, it's an international peace treaty, no conflict there between countries, just research. Exactly. So
research.
If it's just for science and preservation, why is there such like incredible tight control? Because all they're saying is like, there's ice and penguins. Like that's all they're saying there is down there or up there or down there, ice and penguins. So long story short with that is, why do countries who don't ever give a shit about that stuff give a shit about that stuff? So when I looked at Antarctica, there's bases there for what? America, China, Poland, Korea, like Russia, and they're all on great terms. They're totally fine. It's like the most white neutral zone possible. And 90-something% of Antarctica can't be explored by normal people. It's like a giant Area 51, a fence around it. Like you go there, you're arrested, you're quarantined and shipped out.
Which is really freaking interesting because when I think of the world, there is nowhere in the world, like there's so many more dangerous places as far as I'm concerned, rather than Antarctica. Like people go to the north and they hire a guide and you can go wherever you want up there as long as you don't go like cross the border into Russia, because they frown on that. But and people have done it by accident. They're just like, oops, and they just go back again. But like there's so many more secluded areas that, like, for example, in Papua New Guinea and stuff like that, and all these remote areas that have like the tribes that you're not supposed to go to, but they don't stop people. They don't have military there stopping them from going and interfering with those people. They just say, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. They'll probably eat you, and they do. But like,
eat you.
They'll probably eat you, and
go
they
at your
do.
own risk.
But
you know, side of barbecue sauce.
But nobody stops them from going there. Nobody stops anybody from going anywhere else in the world to explore. I mean, here in Canada, there was a guy in Quebec who was canoeing, and he was like just trying to figure out like if we've explored all of our waterways, and he's discovered new rivers that we didn't know was there before. And then, they checked it out from space and was like, boop, yeah, okay, there is something there that we didn't document before. It's a brand new riverway. So, people can do that. Why can't we go to Antarctica and do the same?
Yep. Because it's a neutral zone, so any country who has their
neutral
claim
zone.
There, you should be able to go. And the fact that it's
you
for
could have the
science,
best Burning Man ever there, because you'd have people from all
over the world. So because it's like science and research purposes there, but now you have military installations that are stopping you, and it's not like they've, they haven't documented nuclear testing or bomb days or like we're testing military technology or whatever. Like none of that's documented or said. Like Area 51, it was Air Force, they were testing new technology. So that's why they initially said it was a quote unquote secret, not open to the public, whatever, because they were testing very serious. It was like all classified stuff. Like that's all they were doing there was classified stuff. So there was no reason for normal people to be there, essentially, is what they would say. But Antarctica is not classified. Like you can become a scientist or a researcher and go there and research. But you look online and you search like, can I visit Antarctica? And it's like, yeah, these tour groups go there and all this other stuff, and you can visit and you can fly there and all these things, but you're very limited on where you can go.
Yeah, it's around the coastal part, so that where you can see it, but you're not allowed to go inland towards the pole at all.
Yeah, you can't go to the middle. You can't go in at all. Like you can't touch any of that. Everyone gets along in space and in Antarctica, but not in the middle. Yeah, Robbie. Like, you can do whatever you want everywhere else, but you can't go there. So yeah, the treaty is a cool place to start because it makes the most, like I said, they try to limit people from doing things in ways that doesn't make sense, and that's what makes people pay attention and question it. Like if they just left shit open, nobody would care. Like there's a chance people wouldn't even have gone in. It's like now people want to because they're told they can't. So
how dare you?
With the size of Antarctica,
if there's any good thing about Zoomers, it's that they don't listen to shit.
No.
I mean, go in there like lemmings. I don't care. Like, figure it out.
And they also limited it. Like, think about up here. Like, we have national parks, right? We have protected lands. We have all this other stuff. But you can hike. You can go there. You can walk through it. You can do whatever you want because it's still open to the public. They claim that Antarctica is like the exact same way, but it's not open to the public. It's not even open to private organizations. It's closed to everyone but government. That doesn't make any sense.
It's like the one place in the world also that Trump doesn't want to put a Trump Tower. Like he wants to put a Trump hotel and hotel everywhere and resorts and stuff, except Antarctica. Like you want to take Greenland, but not Antarctica? Come on.
It's like the whole continent's basically an environmental protection and safety situation, and they have covered it and kind of stuck down. Yo, Brick, what's going on? How you doing? Hello, Brick. Welcome in. We're talking about creepy crawly things in Australia. Jesus Christ, that's the next one. Antarctica.
Wrong continent.
Well, Australia has creepy crawlies. So yeah, we're talking about Antarctica.
I want a pet
and
huntsman.
the conspiracies. No, don't burn it with fire. Burn it all down.
No, I want a pet huntsman. Can you imagine? I would name him Gerald too,
Nope.
after the dolphin.
Nope.
Gerald too.
That dolphin thing's a whole thing by itself. That's a whole thing by
we need
itself.
to touch on that later. Episode 4,
so-
everybody.
Another thing that, Another thing that Robbie was talking about, he actually just brought it up. It's the next one on my list anyway. It was the Operation Highjump. This was a real United States mission, and it actually was a start to fueling a lot of the conspiracies and speculations and things like that that happened just after World War II. The conspiracy theory was that the United States military had run into sort of some kind of unknown technology or forces. This is like, this is the first encounter where people started saying that like there was a new species of human or hybrid or something that the military found in Antarctica. This was the whole beginning of like research and missions there, and it's kind of like one of those things that like if it was a nothing place, why would we be doing training and research missions and stuff there? And I think they were saying that like it's to teach the military how to be better in like crazy terrain in case they had to go to Russia or something, because it like simulated Russia, with like the snow and the ice though. And exactly like they could just go to Alaska if we're being honest. But like,
exactly, and I know for a fact after living in Nunavut that they do military practices and drills in in the Arctic.
I just can't say
They're
that
so
word to save
full
my
of
life.
it.
You're Nunavut. But yeah, so it was one of those things where like they decided to do military operations down there. Then it became joint military operations, and it was a huge military presence that went down there. And people were like, "Wow, our troops here, like it makes no sense." And it was also during a time where we didn't have like crazy technology, but it was a pretty huge exercise, like multiple warships, planes, and troops. Well, the other thing, Robbie, that's interesting is like after these exercises, our technology skyrocketed. Like out of nowhere, we suddenly started getting like all this crazy like computers and things like started progressing and coming into light.
Like Wakanda.
Yeah, like Wakanda. We started seeing all this new technology. We started implementing all these new circuit boards and things. Like all this shit started happening very quickly. So that was one of the speculations where like, okay, well, they went to Antarctica and they did all these drills and they did all these things. And now our military is progressing rather quickly and we're becoming a powerhouse in the world. And, that's the thing. A lot of people don't believe that our technology was essentially from us, and if you believe in aliens or not, it is what it is. This may not have been an alien situation either. This could have been just a group of people who lived somewhere that did things to survive there, and we met them, and now we realize they have these like resources we needed or whatever. It might not even be that far-fetched, because they're still finding tribes in like different parts of the world they didn't know existed. Like we're still running into people we didn't know. I'm biting
my tongue because I'm gonna have a lot to say later.
That's fine. I want you to do it. Spill it out.
Yeah, because I'm just like I'm so excited about it that I'm just gonna hold it until later, guys.
Why? Do it now.
Do you want me to do it now? I wanted you to keep going with your spiel, but okay. So
no, I have a huge list. I could go for like 4 hours. You just jump in and take over.
So we're talking about the civilizations that are down in Antarctica, and I know Measley even said there's an alien civilization living in Antarctica. There are all across the world. I know Turkey. There's Turkey. There's the U.S. There's South America. There's Asia. All of these, what they call cave dwellings and things like that they've found of people who they said, oh, they like drilled into the rock and stuff like that. And, there's doorways on weird like formations in even like the Grand Canyon and places like that. And they're like, what are these doorways for? And then when you go inside, there's like,
Brick.
All this ornate like carvings and stuff like that. If you pull out...
Hello, Brick.
That's what she said. if you pull out an image and look at them, they do look like city structures. And there is this theory, because it's all across the globe, that there was already a civilization here before us humans. And because the world is billions, hundreds of billions of years old.
Mm-hmm.
But these rock formations, when you look at it, they do have these like dome-like structures to them and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go inside, they have all this ornate like decor and carvings and paintings and, you know, pieces of like pottery and things like that. And people are saying, well, what if we got melted somehow, or like things like for some reason, like whether it was a ray from the sun or whatever, just like torched the earth at some point, you know, and just like all these structures just fell apart. But my point of this is NASA, and this is true, this part. You can look it up. NASA did a basically like an X-ray of Antarctica. And under that sheet of ice is an entire terrain of mountains, valleys, all of these structures that look like they could be or could have been a civilization. And if you look down, it's even, if you looked at the Mayan temples and stuff, they kind of like pyramid down, same sort of structure going down deep into Antarctica in places. And so they're like, this is interesting. So we're wondering, like, under all of this ice, what is there? And it is very likely that we're not, because you can't even, when I went to Google Earth to look up Antarctica, you can't even zoom in on it. You see a little bit of ice around the shorelines and stuff like that. You see, like, you know, what is it called? Deception Island and stuff like that. Places that we're familiar with. But when you try to look at the rest of it, you can't zoom in whatsoever. And it's like perfectly like shaped in like with straight lines. Like it's hiding something, is masking something. So I find it weird that even though we have satellites all around the world, you can do it up north, you can look down all over up north, why can't you do it in Antarctica? With all these bases, I guess, there and stuff like that. Ooh. But you can do it anywhere else in the world.
What's up,
except for that. And with these structures that they found under the ice, it is very plausible that they are hiding a civilization there.
Y2 says they're hiding the ship that I came down on.
Bit on.
Tell her shit, man. Don't tell her shit, okay? Don't talk about this shit.
They're hiding the ship that Cosmo came down in?
I'm talking about this shit, okay? Okay, boy.
How do you know that it's not all of us? Like, how does that connect to how we had our alien conversation before and the fact that maybe we are being farmed here?
From what I remember, too, Antarctica is huge.
That goes into another rabbit hole.
But the thing with Antarctica, too... Who, me? Am I muted? How long have I been muted for?
I don't know. I've seen you talking, but I'm like, I thought you were just talking to your chat and you didn't want to like talk over me or something.
Oh no, Jesus Christ! Sorry, Brick. What's going on, Brick?
Couldn't hear a thing.
Cosmo couldn't.
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
God,
I didn't mean to talk over you. I just honestly, I thought you were. I was continuing with my thing because I thought that you were talking to chat.
No, I was being. I just screwed myself because I was being stupid. No. So Antarctica. How big is Antarctica anyway? It's supposed to be pretty huge, right?
It's like, massive. It's a massive landmass. Let's see. Hey Siri. Let's see if Siri will talk to me. How large of a landmass is Antarctica? It wouldn't even answer me. Okay.
Greenland is hiding a ship? No, dude. Seriously. Let's ask ChatGPT.
No.
How large is...
Greenland isn't hiding the ship. Are you kidding me? You can go all over Greenland. That's where the Inuit live.
The Inuits. Total area, basic size is about 14 million square kilometers, roughly 5.4 million square miles. It's larger than Europe. It's the 5th largest continent on Earth. About 98% of Antarctica is said to be covered by ice, which makes it seem like a single solid mass, but underneath it's much more complex. Ice thickness averages around 1.9 kilometers, 1.2 miles, contains about 70% of the world's fresh water. That's also kind of interesting because that's a government wanted resource situation right there.
Yeah.
If 70% of the world's fresh water is contained in that one place, everyone's going to want it. Antarctica is 1.5 times the size of the United States. That's crazy. It's bigger than Australia. It's bigger than Europe. It's similar. It's smaller than Africa and smaller than Asia. It's rarely shown fully on maps due to projection distortion. Almost no one lives there permanently. Most of it is inaccessible.
Distortion. Are you kidding me? They can fucking look, like, do an X-ray of it, but they can't see the top of it? Shut.
So getting into Robbie's conversation here, this is the one that Kat doesn't like, because I don't necessarily believe this, but it's hard to believe, is that the map that conspiracy theorists like to use that will make you giggle because it's like, how does this even make sense? Is that ice wall theory, right? And the ice wall theory is like 99% of what people are talking about when they talk about Antarctica. And there's two different kinds of ice wall theories, right? There's the one that makes more sense, since we've never seen Earth in it. Well, yeah, and nobody has. Nobody's actually, like, until you go up and see something, you don't know, you know? Bucky Betts, when they say distortion, they mean because most maps visualizing the world are flat, hence the distort. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it can't, they can't get that full bit. But Bucky, so the funny thing with Antarctica, the interesting part about this is there's two ice wall theories. There's one which there is actually an ice wall sort of around Antarctica, and that, they're saying could, when they talk to you about it, they're saying could just be from, like, the mountains pushing up, kind of like in India where the continents moved, the ice wall would just be like mountains being pushed up and they're covered in ice, so they just made giant wall around Antarctica because the world came in a circle around it and created an ice wall. No. Yeah, no, I'm going to get into something else, Robbie, in a second. So, not just that little ice wall theory, but there's the bigger ice wall theory where people say that our continents and our planet that we know it is just a little circle in the middle of a much larger planet that we haven't been shown. And it's the whole thing where you are in, you could be in Hawaii or you could be in Asia. You're there, right? You're in your little circle. And then the pancake theory, you're in your little circle. And then you go out from your little circle and there's a wall, quote unquote, they call it the ice wall around, let's just say, let your brain blow up for a second, around our entire continents. The world as we know it is its own wall. And down by Antarctica is where the opening is, or one of the cracks in the wall, like one of the entryways to get out of said wall. Like, that's why they're guarding it. Like, it's the gateway is down there to go through said wall, like the doorway. And it brings you to all these other places, all these other quote unquote possible continents and things. Like if it would only make sense if, like, the Earth was as big as, Bucky, we love this stuff. If the Earth was
as large as, like,
Uranus or like Jupiter or something, then you could see that, right? If the Earth turned out to be as big as, like, Jupiter, like, how many Earths fit inside of Jupiter? Is it like, it's like 200,000, like, it's a lot, right? Like, it's the size that they say it's bigger than us is ridiculous. So picture us being, like, actually, like, much larger than we are, and then that theory would hold true. And if we were trying to be told one thing and being kept in our little prison that is what we're allowed to be in right here, we would just be a little pimple on the planet, right? Like, we wouldn't really be much of anything. And after, like, your video today that we watched about, like, I've seen a lot of faking the moon landing stuff recently come back up and all that stuff. Imagine if, like, back in the 50s and 60s, they found, like, after World War II, like, now here comes our true meaning of our podcast where we veer off the path here. Imagine after World War II, they decided to, yes, I do have the Admiral Beard theories. I have that as well. Imagine they went off of the beaten path and they went down to Antarctica to explore. They found a pathway out and they realized we're not as small as we think we are. And they went out somewhere and they met these other civilizations and all this stuff. And we're calling it aliens, but all it is people flying over a wall from another place we don't know exists on the other side of the planet and coming over and just checking us out or whatever. Like, they're not actually coming from outer space. They're just coming over from, like, 200 miles that way, but we can't see them.
We're gonna touch on something about that later too.
So, like, you know, when they say, like, they see alien spaceships coming out of the water and stuff, like, well, this could all just, like, that's the thing that makes your brain stretch, right? Like, maybe they're not coming from 100 million light years away. They're all here. They're just on another part of the planet that we think isn't there because we're taught to believe it's this one size when it's actually, we know planets can, like, they've already proven, like in Westworld, Taurus. Yeah, exactly. They've already proven that planets can be 1 billion times bigger than Earth. It's possible. So imagine, like, just imagine, and this is where chat starts going. Just imagine that we were the biggest propaganda. And again, I'm not saying I believe this. I'm just saying picture it. The biggest propaganda thing we've ever been taught by our government other than religion. Ignore me.
Don't ignore it.
Is that the Earth not being flat, is that the Earth is round, but we're only being shown a small picture because we're on a very planet and we're only being shown a small little picture. So,
hi, Nikki.
You know, what's up, Car? So, like, that theory is kind of cool, but then at the same time, it's like, why not let us just, like, just show us who's out? Like, why would you limit that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And it would all be like,
why aren't we privy to this information?
Yeah,
like,
it would be like a money grab, right? Or resources.
You know why? And I'm gonna like throw it out there because they do need us to be slaves. And the fact of the matter is that's why they have religion and everything like that, because aliens, they know that if we knew that there was another way of living that was beneficial to us, like, I mean, like all of the theories that they're keeping us overworked and they're raising like the inflation and everything like that so that we have less time to be creative, which is true. We have less time to be creative as a people. We have less time to care about our neighbors because we are so struggling with ourselves. We are unable to you know, find the time to even like do our own farming and such, which is like something even back in like the 50s and stuff, a lot of people were doing. And I know we have our backyard gardens and stuff like that, and some of us do have farms, but not like it used to be. We are very dependent upon the system that they have built for us. And one of the things that I find that they wouldn't want us to know, one of the things that they wouldn't want us to know is that there's another way of life. There is another entire universe that we have yet to discover, because that would make us throw down our tools and everything, or, you know, metaphorically, and be like, well, why aren't we living like that?
Mixing between what you said, what Robbie just said, and what Robbie's saying, what Bucky just said. I do like that Rick and Morty episode, because it's funny, because if you look at pop culture, it's almost like they've been consistently putting small messages in it since the beginning. Like, people who knew things in Hollywood and stuff, that knew of things, have been putting little messages in movies and shit for like decades, and people are just now bringing up like old movies and shit and actually paying attention to things. Okay, Y2, we'll see in a little bit. Bucky has a good point. So to go off of the slavery conversation and the little guy thing, what if we are sort of like the generator? Like, what if we are like, we're dependent yet celebrate independence? Yeah, Robbie, that's been a scam since the beginning. What if we are like the worker bees, right, on this giant planet? Let's continue with the big planet theory, with the big ice wall in Antarctica as the gateway and stuff. Kind of like the center Earth theory or whatever. What if we are the worker bees?
Do you guys remember the movie Bees that Jerry Seinfeld put out? Jerry Seinfeld is one of these people who've been going to Epstein Island and is known as an elite and stuff like that. But the movie Bees that he put out was exactly that, was a worker bee who wanted to, when he realized that he was just going to work until he died. Yeah, when he found out that he was going to work until he died, he was just like, no, I want to see what's more to life than this. Like, this can't be it, you know? And it's kind of weird. It came from Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, the little bits and pieces you get out of movies and stuff. And like, that's where I'm trying to like, oh God, I don't know. Hold on, let me just pause it. That's where I'm trying to figure out what would be the motive behind. what would be the motive behind them doing this, right? And it would be if we were, so it's either, there could be a few things, right? Like if we're
Mhm.
not allowed to know about things on the outside, but there's liaisons from the government that are, and they go back and forth to like these other civilizations, whatever, but they also fly in and check on us. They're constantly like abducting people from here and bringing them to somewhere else. They're constantly moving people around. People are disappearing every day, coming back. The Bigfoot kind of teleporting in and out of forest thing, he could just be going over the wall to somewhere else. Like this could all make
Or
sense.
he's or he's doing the whole teleport thing that some
Exactly.
people predict that he can do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this would all make sense if these were just inter amazing things that were happening that the planet could always do. We just weren't privy to that information, and they were out behind a wall in another part. So we're either the slaves and worker bees being held in our little camp, which is actually a big camp, but since there's billions of us, it has to be a big camp. And we're just here until they need us to do shit, doing whatever we're doing. Maybe they're siphoning our power. Maybe maybe we're mining their resources and they're taking it. That's why our prices go up, because like we're told these resources are getting burned or whatever, but they're just taking them back somewhere else that need it or whatever. Or maybe we're like the prison. Maybe we were like the shitheads that they didn't want, so they threw us over an ice wall and put a cork in the
Were we too
wall.
rebellious?
I don't know. Maybe we're all like the prison babies, like back when they threw us in this little ice hole on the planet. Mm-hmm.
What if we are defective and
Or
they've put
that.
us here? They've put us here to see which of us will evolve to the next level, to move on to the next
Maybe.
level, to the next
What if
world.
we're just the science experiment? You know, they said Antarctica
Dude,
is
I'm
like a research
ready.
experiment. Think about it. Think about it. And this is gonna tickle Robbie's taint. Um, what if we are the science experiment from the rest of the planet? What if we're the petri dish? So when they want to test like new vaccines, new diseases, new genetic issues, they want to test like animal stuff, they want to test like a plague, they want to see what happens if they do
Yeah.
this. We're the ones getting tested on. We're the ones constantly being like poked and prodded and given medication, and throw them through this kind of
Probed, if you
economic
will.
bullshit. Yeah, and throw them through that economic bullshit. What happens if there's famine? And like we're just one giant research project in the center of this drop. Cause like I don't know about you, but like this
What
thing
if
going
we
on right
are
now
a
is
trial and
terrible.
error simulation in that sense?
Hmm.
Like, what if we are just a simulation?
What if we're powerful and that's why we're suppressed and controlled? We could be. Because imagine this, Robbie, if
Oh,
we've been through all this, we're immune to everything now. We're no bullshit
no,
now.
the
Maybe we're stronger.
CIA has a paper out on that, Robbie. They have a paper out on that
Stay away from my
where
taint.
every human being has a supernatural ability that is untapped. And some people do, like with their intuition and with like their ability to perceive things that aren't there, whether and even
That
like
was an
higher
amazing
intelligence
movie,
and stuff like
Bucky.
that,
Amazing.
but
I wanted a
also in like
second one, but they
strength and
didn't do it.
everything, that everybody has like this untapped supernatural power that is part of the MK Ultra stuff as well, and like all of the testings that they were doing, and the fact that they were trying to bring that out of people more. But there is a CIA paper on the fact that humans
No, it's
all
true,
have
Bucky.
some sort of secret ability.
Well, that's where it came from, the testing that they did. And not to get away from like Antarctica, but this is what happens. It's all connected. That's like how like the Stranger Things movie came out, right? Because like there was real testing being done on kids with radio waves and stuff to try to unlock their innate abilities. And the
Hmm.
theory was that they actually unlocked some of these innate abilities, and a lot of the soldiers got like killed. Like a lot of people got like destroyed by kids who unlocked their abilities, and then they had to flush this process out. They're like, this is too dangerous, and they like killed everyone and shut it down. So like
Hmm.
there's like legitimate stuff that was done to basically try to unlock abilities. And like I was talking to my wife the other day about this, like the whole like we've only unlocked 10 or 15% of our brain thing to this day still blows my mind, that they can only justify us using 10 or 15% of our brain. And it's one of those like jokes that if we used, I'm throwing out breadcrumbs. Yeah, no, I got you. It's one of those things where like if we could unlock even 25, 30%, they're like people might learn how to levitate. It's like,
Mhm.
or if you unlock 50%, you could read minds. Like, I've been talking about
Us
this
too,
stuff for
Robbie.
25.
We
Yes.
that's why we started the podcast, because we're heavy into it.
Because we've been talking quietly about it, but now
We've been talking quietly about it. Now we're like, let's talk about it loud.
I don't know what happened, Robbie, but all of a sudden in the last 2 years, it's nothing to do with the Epstein files or whatever. The conspiracy itself is they're just like, let's just release everything and let people deal with it. Lions is back.
Yeah.
Just think about it. There are people that are geniuses that use that amount of their brains. Imagine what we could do if we could use more. No, exactly. They said, like, if you could use 50% of your brain, you'd be able to communicate with your cells. You'd be able to
if I had more serotonin, I'd be able to communicate with my cells.
They'd say, well, yeah, they say like you'd be able to internally have a conversation with your body.
Dopamine.
Mm-hmm. Could you imagine being able to tell your body, like, hey, I'm going to be lifting weight right now. Could you give me like 10% more adrenaline? Or, hey, I'm going to be, the doctor said I have a tumor or whatever. Can you send like 25% more white blood cells down there and take care of that for me? Cool. Thanks. Gone. Or like, hey, all these cells in my body that are considered cancer cells, can you just get rid of those for me real quick? And they just take them all out. It's like, if you could talk to your body, that would be insane. Like, that's one thing I've always thought of. We're an organism, right? We're one organism. We can control this part, but we can't control anything that's going on in here. This is all considered autopilot. Well, why do I have a consciousness out here, but I can't talk to any of this? This is mine, right? So why can't I do anything with it? But that also goes
to touch on what we said last episode, when we said, humans are the only living thing on the planet not conditioned to live here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we said on the last episode.
We are absolutely not.
Everything here.
We haven't acclimated to anything. We haven't acclimated to anything. If we get too hot, if we get too cold, there's nothing about us except for our minds, which we only get to use 10% of, and that little bit that we have. That's the only reason that we are still alive, because of our quote unquote higher intelligence.
We can't sit naked in the middle of the Arctic for 75 generations and all of a sudden our kids grow like so much fur on their bodies that they can live there. It never happens. You just keep dying.
And the people in the Arctic have lived there for thousands of years, and here we are. They still aren't like made to even live there themselves fully.
They have to skin it, get its fur, and then live with that. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the thing. That it's like, that's just the thing. Like, we're still hunter gatherers. You know what I mean? Like, we still have to figure our shit out. I'm just waiting.
Bucky, you don't have to wait long. They just released that over in Dubai or somewhere like that. They had a tech thing where they can put your consciousness into a AI robot and off you go.
Dude. The cyberpunk shit. Give me that big wiener. I'm just kidding. I don't care about that. But you guys did bring up the Admiral.
Knowing me, I'd still probably have a busted hip.
Yeah, I'd still have diabetes somehow. I need an oil change like every fucking 2 days.
It's just like your body doesn't produce enough oil.
No, I'd have to have an oil change like every 2 days. They would fuck with me somehow with this. I'm telling you right now. They would get me. Somehow they'd get me. So the Admiral Richard E. Richard E. Byrd is the hidden land theory. This is one that kind of started all these movies, kind of started all these conversations about, like, let's get away from the ice wall theory and the theory of like other continents and flat earth shit and all that stuff, whatever. This one was a conspiracy theory where he claimed to have discovered, when he went to Antarctica, he claimed to have discovered a secret habitable world in or beyond Antarctica. So again, it could be the ice wall theory, but a lot of people were saying that his conversation really meant like the hollow earth theory, which is what you had kind of brought up a little bit, where there was sort of the tropical environment that was within the center of Antarctica. Like, you could go down into it through cave systems or whatever, and you would come out into this lush environment with like trees and palm trees. And I don't really believe like dinosaurs and like they have this like their own sun down there or whatever, but like, just some type of environment that was not cold, because everyone thinks Antarctica is freezing all the time. It's not. It does have some dry areas which get warmer.
It was
Um,
actually a completely dinosaurs did live there, and
hmm
it was a completely livable landmass
hmm
prior to the Ice Age.
Yeah,
So
which
there's
took it all
definitely a
out.
interesting. Can you imagine if there's like such cool bones would be down there? So
hmm
cool.
But imagine if it sunk down, like the center sunk down, and it became sort of like a bunker. And if, like, let's say an asteroid hit or whatever, that's its own theory
Hmm.
system, and the planet got kind of wiped out, everything in there would have been fine. If it was behind some sort of, wall or whatever, like, what if, like, it was more protected? So, like, certain animals didn't get wiped out. Like, there is still dinosaurs there. Let's say it's like there is like a little Jurassic Parky thing going on down there. Um, it's not impossible. This is the one theory that could be true scientifically. Like, this is the one that makes the most sense, because we're talking about stuff that they're trying to prove has always been on this planet, right? And they're moving it into like we know if we go underground we can survive a lot of shit. So that's why a
Yeah.
lot of humans are going underground right now. We're building these billion-dollar bunkers. So what if a
Hmm.
natural formation of land just happened to take place? Earthquake, a crack opens up in the ground, whatever, and dinosaurs or these animals or this, like, trees or whatever fell in. We know that if we walk away from our house for like 50 years, Earth takes it back. Like, green shit starts growing in your house, like a tree will come through your window, grass will be in your living room. Like, the earth takes shit back pretty quickly if a
Hmm.
human is not there to maintain it. So if a tree or a plant or seeds fell into this crack and it was very fertile land down there and it got a little bit of water from ice melting, like, in theory over a billion years you could have a forest underground. Like,
So you should always wash your crack, people.
yeah, wash your butt. Wash your ass today, right now. But yeah, I mean, it's totally possible. So to get back to the theory, is it's like the fact versus myth situation with this, right? And even the myth,
Mhm.
you can't, if somebody says it's a myth, you still can't believe it, because with AI and stuff, you don't know anymore. But Bird, I'm gonna say Bird. I don't
Which
remember
is
if
also an
Beard or
interesting
Bird.
release in this timeline.
Oh, so ridiculous. He the deal about him was he was a highly respected individual, in the field of research and science and all of that stuff. It was a very highly respected person. Basically, if they said something was real, people were going to believe it's real. He
Yeah.
led multiple Antarctic expeditions prior to them locking it down and you not being able to go there and all this shit. This man went there and he explored and all that stuff. He flew over both the North and South Poles. So he has flown over. This is a person who has gone to somewhere and flown over them to see what's down below, not satellite images or anything like that. And he was a person who mapped a lot of parts of Antarctica. So he's coined with sort of like mapping a lot of these like mountain ranges and things like that. And to Robbie's point from earlier, this gentleman was involved in Operation Highjump. So it's sort of like, why would you involve this explorer in a large military scale operation? That's, you know what I mean? Like, that's why a lot, like, you just took a civilian and you gave them like high clearance to do this thing with you. And is it because they knew something and found something that this operation had to happen and you needed them to lead it because they had to take you to this place? And that's where people were saying, like, well, did he lead the military to this hollow earth or center earth situation? And now, since then, the public isn't allowed there. Like, the timeline of things happening is what makes it sketchy, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
not like the military went there to do training and then left and now the public can go there. It's not like this guy explored it and then nothing happened and now the public
What
can go there.
year was it again that he did that?
Um, let me figure that out.
I'm just curious about the timeline there of events
Of him exploring it, or
of when he was there and he flew over the wall and explored um and in conjunction with
his
everything else that's happened in the world.
his first exploration was 1928 to 1930, where he
Huh.
made his flight over the South Pole, and he established a base that he called Little America in Antarctica, like a little bunker thing. His second expedition was 1933 to 1935, where they say he was coined with staying in a remote station studying the weather down there. He had a third expedition in 1939 to 1941. It's like, why would you keep going back, if you've already figured it out? That was his first expedition where he was actually backed by the United States, by the government and the military. And in 1946 to 1947, he led Operation Highjump. He led Operation Highjump with the military. The largest Antarctic expedition at the time, often referred in conspiracy theories, blah, blah, blah. And 1955 to 1956, it says he participated in something called Operation Deep Freeze, where he established a permanent research base in Antarctica for the military. Something. So he went in 1929.
Yes,
he went again in 33 to 35. The military got involved in 39 to 41. And then from 46 to 47, they made him go back and create a permanent base after doing Operation Highjump. On the topic of AI, I just watched a movie called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't. I saw that movie. I didn't see it. I saw that it was out. Talks about modern infatuation with tech, social media, and AI, etc. I got to run, but I love the conversation. No worries, Bucky. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you for dropping by, man. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Buck.
But yeah, so that's the whole thing. It's like this guy explores cat, right? And then goes back again because he's like, continues mapping it, finds something. The United States now is involved.
Yeah.
They then do this giant military operation down there. And then they make him immediately afterwards establish a permanent base. That's so expensive to maintain. Like what? Like, I don't understand.
And also, it's funny to me. Okay, so I looked up last night at like 4 a.m. Why we can't fly over Antarctica. I'm like, is it because of weather? Because that would be disproven right away by pilots themselves who would say, no, because you fly above the clouds, you fly above the weather anyhow.
Yeah,
so like
that's why you go to a certain
in any condition, you fly above. Generally, with these airliners and such, especially smaller aircraft, they would have a harder time. Like even in the Arctic, I remember when I was due to leave my contract, I was delayed by 4 days because of weather. Like you couldn't take off. But to fly over it, if you're not landing on it, is less of the issue. So they obviously they couldn't go with that. So they say the reason is because you can't fly over it because there's nowhere to make emergency landings. Now, I call bullshit because people fly over the oceans all the time. There is no safe way to land a jumbo jet in the middle of the ocean. You're going down, you will hit it like a brick, no matter what. Everybody would pray that they just survive, but you know what? You probably wouldn't, because by the time you get unstrapped and everything, you probably already sunk into the So I call bullshit on that as well.
Well, it's probably safer to land on that than it is in the middle of the ocean.
Exactly. If it is a sheet of ice, there's nothing but runway. And also, if there's military bases there, they have runways. Wouldn't they be allowed to be like, hey, we're going down, we need a runway, like we're having an emergency, like there's a weird smell, there's an engine on fire, whatever, like can we utilize your military base to make an emergency landing? Because most places will allow that. And if it's a neutral zone, why is it such a concern?
Exactly. It's too...
What are they hiding down there?
It's too hidden, dude. It's just, oh my god, it's too... It's not even a hiding in plain sight thing.
For entertainment purposes.
For entertainment purposes only. It's not like a hiding in plain sight thing anymore. I chewed my finger, it's bleeding. That's why I'm like touching it.
I get it, man. I get it.
It's not a hiding in plain sight thing anymore. It's like if you wanted people to not care about what you're doing, they could have put like a Disney World Antarctica down there that people could visit, and then kept the military base off on the other side of a wall, and nobody would have looked. Nobody would have paid attention to them. Nobody would have given a crap what the military was doing. Nobody would have like paid attention. They could have said the UFO flying over is part of the attraction. They could have put a spaceport UFO thing down there, and people. This is how you trick the public. You make it
What if I
entertainment.
go there and I'm just like, I just want to go for a little walk,
Yeah,
and I just keep walking? Why can't I just go for a little walk in our
just
Antarctica?
keep walking. But like you
Just
got to
keep
make
walking.
it. You got to make it interesting to the public so that they don't give a shit. That's why with I do think AI is progressing and becoming a thing now because the billionaire tech giants have realized that they need a way to hide the truth. And the only way to hide the
Hmm.
truth is to do AI stuff. Like the,
And they're just counting on people to not have good memories. Like, I
mm-hmm,
have the memory of seeing that video. It was probably 10, 15 years ago now,
mm-hmm,
of the aircraft taking off out of the water in Antarctica. And I
mm-hmm,
searched for hours yesterday trying to find that one video because I knew it existed. I
mm-hmm,
could still see the satellite image of it, you know?
mm-hmm.
Which also goes to show that they do have satellite image of Antarctica. And like I said,
So,
if they can take an X-ray of the land mass and see that, as you said, it does sink down,
mm-hmm.
it makes you wonder. Also, is Jurassic Park real? What if they turn? What if there are dinosaurs that are still living there? That you the caves in China, um, that have like this huge mass overhead, but water has trickled down through it to the point where they've made an entire new climate, almost like a biosphere in under the
Yeah,
rock, and it's like a blooming place of all
yeah,
these unique species and stuff like that. What if it's the same thing with Antarctica?
it
And
definitely could
because
happen.
under the ice, it would be protected
Mm-hmm.
also from the storms and everything above. And so sunlight would still get in and all of this, oxygen, whatever. Who's to say that there's not like a lot of flora and fauna still living there, or people and such?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I just also find it interesting with the Anita project that they have going down there. And that's one of the things that I read about a lot, because to touch on the whole thing of like, is there a civilization there? The Anita project in Antarctica, they started the project there because they found that, okay, so neutrinos are these very lightweight particles that shoot through space all the time. They're
You
shooting around
you
us
keep
right now.
talking. I'm
They're
gonna go pee
probably
pees.
Okay, so they're probably shooting through us right now. They're going all through us. They're going through everything. They only
I'll be right
stop
back. I
when
got the
they're
bathroom.
stopped by a large enough mass, and I mean like not a mass like a rock or anything. I mean like an atom mass, because they're very tiny, very very small. But the Anita project was there to basically measure these neutrinos, where they're going, how they're affected, and how they affect us. Um, and also kind of the nature of them, because it would give a big insight into also black matter in space, because they're through everything. Um, so they have this Anita project in Antarctica where they're studying these neutrinos because they pass through, but they they found are being shot back out. So most things are supposed to just go straight through. And they could understand if like they went through and like there was enough gravity and everything inside of our planet that it shouldn't just pass through, but it does. But then also they shoot back out. So they actually have this theory. Experts have this theory because they don't have the physics or the math to figure out what would shoot them back out and whether or not they're the same neutrinos that went in the first place. But when they're shot through a direction, they don't have the ability to just like turn around and everything like that. So they're like, why are they shooting back out? What is causing that? We don't have the math. We don't have the physics to figure it out. Um, so one of the running theories, because when you're doing science, obviously you have to like consider everything. And one of the things that they have theorized is that it's a mirror effect from an alternate universe, like a different side, almost like a mirror of what we are going through. And they hypothesize that we have our civilization seeing us going forward, but if we were to look at them, they'd be going backwards. So everything that we would see with them would be going backwards to the point like we're going forward and aging, they're going backwards and unaging.
Benjamin
But
Button.
exactly. But they would be seeing the same from their side. We would be the ones moving backwards and then forwards. So that's an interesting theory too. I don't have all of the information on that. They're obviously not going to release everything on it, but they have said that Instagram and these conspiracy theorists have taken it and been like, there's an alternate universe and blah, 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 and have basically, because with science, you never confirm anything until you actually have scientific proof. So they can't say, hey, this is a theory. We haven't proven anything yet. So people are running with it, but we don't know if it's true or not yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I do keep that logical side of my brain, but it's also what's happening to these neutrinos and why are they being fired back out, not just like in through. And it's only happening in Antarctica, in this one area of Antarctica. It's not happening in the north, only in the south. Bum, bum, bum.
So I missed that whole thing, so you can
Could it
start
be
over real
alien?
quick. I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna kick you. I can't work in these conditions.
Oh, you're going to have to. It's Canadian way.
But yeah, so I mean the thought that there might be like scientifically there's something being shot back through Antarctica.
Mm.
We don't know what other research they're doing down there and everything like that. Ban Cosmo. I love that, Nikki.
Rude.
Rude. But the fact that they're being shot back out as well, and to touch on our conversations prior about these wormholes that they've found in tunnels in like Germany, Russia, all these other places, who's to say that there isn't type of wormhole in Antarctica that is still producing enough energy that things can travel back and forth through it? Because if neutrinos are coming out of it and going back into it, it's being shot both ways. Who's to say there isn't some sort of wormhole there to do that? Hang on. I don't have a mic. I'll drop my Sharpie.
What?
There.
Oh, drop my mic. I was so confused what you're going to do. I was like, what's happening? No worries, Lions. So that kind of breeds into some of the other theories that happen. So, okay, so we talked about this before. We brought this up a couple of times that when it came to like the Nazis and Nazi Germany and all of that stuff, we know that Hitler loved technology. As crazy as this man was, take it with a grain of salt. He was researching the occult. He didn't put money or research or resources outside of, basically taking over the planet essentially into anything other than mystical stuff. Like, he just wanted to learn about everything that had to do with teleportation and aliens and spacecraft and, digging holes everywhere you could to find the very secretive things that could like make you live forever and all this other shit. So why in the 1930s did he send the Nazis to Antarctica? It wasn't for resource gathering because they didn't know anything. Like, he could have fought their operation if he sent his military there and there was nothing there. They created bases down there. Like, the Nazis had structures and buildings that they built, and it's already proven that they knew how to build tunnels, sophisticated tunnels and structures in the middle of like jungles. So there's no reason that they couldn't build one in this environment or this habitat. Like, the weirdest thing about the Nazis is they were able to build, and it wasn't like slave labor, like it was them doing it. They were able, their military, like they were able to build very elaborate and intricate underground bases.
Yeah.
And very precise, very precision based, like laser cut looking tunnels, not like hand chiseled shit. So I think they figured something out and got some technology on their hands that the rest of the world wanted. And that was part of like, okay, my head's going somewhere here.
Let it go.
So the conspiracy about the Nazis going to Antarctica was the whole alien situation, that there was an advanced civilization down there. There was an advanced race, and they wanted their technology, and they wanted to be able to make friends with them because that would turn the tide of them basically taking over the planet. If they could make friends and get the technology of whatever this is down here, they would have something the rest of the world didn't, and they could use it in their military adventures, and they'd be able to essentially take over the world. You know, like, shit. Sorry, I'm on like my anxiety meds. That makes me tired at about this time.
Oh, that's okay.
So
don't have to tell me about tired.
Yeah. So that being said, history has proven itself time and time again that if there's anywhere that the Nazis went, there's something special about that place. It doesn't matter where in the world it is. It could be in the middle of the Amazon jungle. You know where they were and investigate, because they found something or did something, because none of that was strategic to a military base or a military outpost or anything. It was all research, scientific research into something. Dookie, what's going on? Hello.
Hey, Salty.
It's too obvious. It's too obvious that the Nazis would go to Antarctica and put a base there in the middle of, you know, Santa's butt crack for what purpose. They weren't mining oil. They weren't like getting a strategic position on anyone on the planet. That wasn't doing shit for them. If anything, they were losing money, losing resources, losing manpower, losing everything. Like, it was a lose-lose from the beginning.
And during a very pivotal time in their, you know,
a very pivotal time when they needed to buckle down and do some shit. What's up, Salty? Robbie says VRIL Society. I don't know what that one is. I don't know if you saw something with that. Vril Society? Dookie, how was your stream? I hope you had a good day. So that is a smoking gun to me that they were there.
Sounds familiar. I probably looked it up last night.
I'm going to have to look it up. And then the military, then the United States decides need to go here, and then they do the Operation Highjump, and they have the explorer lead them to where is he leading you? Like, if they had already mapped Antarctica and it was a circle, what more do you need to know?
It touches on what you were saying, actually. The Vril Society is a largely fictional occult conspiracy theory, alleging a secret society existed in pre-Nazi Berlin to harness Vril energy for advanced technology.
Hi, Nikki.
Popularized by post-World War II literature, it is often linked to the Thule Society and occult roots of Nazism. No historical evidence supports its existence as a real organization. Of course not. Not if they burned it all to the ground.
Well, that's like the Oddfellows Club and stuff too, right? Nobody has any details on it, but you know it's kind of existing. It's existing and not existing at the same time, right? Same thing with like the whole ball thing going on right now.
And Vril, a latent source of energy that the spiritually elevated hosts are able to master through training of their will to a degree that depends on their heredity. Hosts. On their hereditary constitution. So basically, energy source that spiritually elevated people or hosts are able to like manipulate and to use, essentially.
So like, how does that not lead into like they went there to talk to a government, not a government, they went there to communicate with a civilization, kind of like the Atlantis thing, right? The Atlantis theory, where there was like a civilization that had flying cars and ships and spaceships and, you know, could cure all these diseases and energy weapons and things, the laser guns and stuff, and all these things that like they basically were their own downfall and destroyed their own civilization, and they went back to sticks and rocks and making fire with farts and lightning and shit again. And it's because they had a downfall and they destroyed themselves. I mean, all of this makes sense with Antarctica, right? There could be a civilization there. There's all these theories. You know, forget the ice wall thing. Now it's a hole in the middle of it. There's dinosaurs living there. Well, what if there's not dinosaurs? What if a civilization of people are living there? We all...
But like...
my God, wait. What if... Oh, shit. Hold on.
He hurt himself, guys.
Vril also is linked to the Black Eye Club. You know all the elite people that get black eyes. Yeah, I saw that. The Black Eye Club? Yes. Yeah. No, that's a very weird thing. Like, that kind of threw me for a loop when I first saw that. But what if, okay, we do this in every podcast, dude. It's too early to do this. I need like another hour and a half before I get one of these
No,
moments.
do it now,
So
or you might lose it.
the planet right now
Yes.
is undergoing kind of a transformation where everyone's just everyone. And the threat of
Yes.
nuclear war and all this stuff, like every psychic on the planet is saying that something's going to happen. There's going to be a flip or whatever. Every person who's ever predicted a
feeling it
natural
possible.
disaster is saying there's this big thing that's coming. Anyone who's ever done anything is saying that, you know, the crash is coming because all the people in charge, all the world powers, the, you know, whether they're lizard people or just dumbasses or just old farts who don't give a want to take everyone down with them. You're honing your craft. Yeah, go with it. You're honing your craft. I could feel that muscle I didn't know I had, Robbie, brewing right now. So
That's his 11% of his brain.
I just hit 11. What are they all doing right now with money? Digging holes and trying to build underground bunkers. They're all seeing their significant others in the world, their other powers, their other people doing dumb shit that could ruin the planet. We can't live. So they're digging holes to go down and wait it out. What if Antarctica is just the hole? Back when all this technology was a thing and there was flying this and ships and cars and laser weapons and all this other stuff, because they've said that the first thing that's listed with all scientists.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Mm-hmm. The first thing that all scientists have said is if there was going to be an end to the human race, we would probably just end up doing, like, all intelligent beings hit the first, second, and third phase and then they destroy themselves because they've gotten too far. So what if, with the Earth being billions and billions and billions of years old, I'm tired of this, Grandpa Nikki. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Well, that's too damn bad. What if that is the bunker from the original advanced
Bunkering down
species? Like, what if Antarctica, where it is, would make sense, right? It would be in a place on the planet that wouldn't really be hit by dumb shit. You know, like, isn't really hit by the jet stream. It isn't really hit by the weather patterns that come around and hit all of us. It would be
it is the most widely hit place on the planet for asteroids as well.
Yeah.
Which is because, and the asteroids are maintained in perfect condition, which also would go to the alien thing, because imagine if that you are an alien species with eggs or something like that, and what if it's perfectly preserved within the rocks of the asteroids and such, and launched, because that's how most species on the planet,
or that's how you get
about.
your resources.
That's how you get your resources.
If you're smart, if you're a high enough intelligent species, they said we would no longer harness the resources of our own planet. We'd be pulling it off of rocks out in space, because why would we use our shit?
And also, back to the whole 70% fresh water. What if the elites are keeping it pristine down there because they know if the world ends? What have they done to most of our water already? They've polluted it.
Poisoned and polluted.
The fracking has put so much mercury and everything into the water that fish can barely survive. People are being poisoned. There's all sorts of arsenics and things in people's well waters and things. They've got Roundup, the glyphosate in a lot of drinking water. They've just poisoned Iran with it and parts of Lebanon. So and making their water and their crops and everything unusable. But the elites have this source of fresh water down there that they are protecting with militaries from all the source of all their militaries and everything like that. So what if they do have a bunker down there for themselves with all of this fresh water that they're just keeping to themselves because, right?
And what if they do have that
Ugh, ugh.
ecosystem in that bunker that is conducive to like growing plants and crops, and because the world has
Yeah.
created its own humid environment in the center, like they could artificially create that. If the world,
Yep.
we've talked about this, if all the governments on the planet got together, China, Russia, United States, whatever, we'd already be on Mars, living, eating McDonald's, going through the drive-through. Um, Glyphosate is integral to our national
Sure,
security.
Robbie.
But like,
Yeah.
picture that if you
Explain
were,
that to where is it? Oh my God, I lost train of thought.
you'll get there. Like,
I'll get
im-
there.
imagine if you were an advanced civilization on Earth, because Earth is what, 4 billion years old as far as we're able to test, but we're just as smart as our smartest scientists. So when we're constantly rewriting the book, every time we dig up a new rock that looks like we carved it, further and back or whatever, right? So imagine if Antarctica is an advanced civilization that we would quote unquote call aliens, which they would have flying spacecrafts and things like that, right? What if
Hmm.
Pixamars are actually from Northern? I saw that. What if uh, these quote unquote aliens that they keep saying they come out of the ocean, all this stuff, they're human. They're just older humans. And they're pre-collapse of the first civilization. They could be the 5th for all we know. We could be the 10th attempt at humans living up here. And we've just evolved to be able to survive in the current climate and the
Thank you,
current
Robbie.
atmosphere that we're in right now after somebody before. What if humans couldn't breathe this level of oxygen and they needed more before, and and now this is all we have left, but the kids who are born later on down the road can live in it, like they evolve. Like, what if we are evolving, we're just evolving to fit the current playbook of what the planet is allowing us to live on because of the humans before us up, and now we're the spawn of that. So the
Hmm.
big-eyed gray flying spaceship humans are the ones that live in the bunker in Antarctica that can't really come out without protection, because whatever they did to the planet up, and now we live here because we're able to. Like, it's like if you picture Antarctica as a bunker, it makes perfect sense. If there was an advanced civilization there, why are they there and they haven't come to the rest of the planet and tried to take over the rest of the planet or done anything if they're so advanced? Well, maybe because the rest of the planet is planet that they don't want to go back to because it's still for them.
Back when Pangea was still a thing, I'm just thinking about it now.
Mm-hmm.
Back when Pangea was still a thing and all the continents and land masses were connected, if Antarctica is in fact hit by a great deal of meteors and things like that, even though back then it would have not have been frozen,
Yeah.
what if that's where humans came from in the first place? Is that was like the safest area to land and create a civilization. Not so much for humans, but whatever came before us. And then the land masses separated and civilizations had already, like, the people had already moved onto all of the land masses already and started all of these cities in the stones and everything like that.
And then split
I
into
don't know.
different factions.
Yeah.
And then
They
did
split into different
the human
factions
thing
and
where I don't like your skin color and I don't like what you believe in. I like you,
yeah.
and I'm gonna him.
Yeah.
It's like, and all that bullshit started happening. Like, why are you a little brown? Well, I don't know. Why are you a little yellow? And like they just started getting all mad at each other. And you have round nipples and you have square nipples, and I can't hang out with the round nipple people. And that's when you get into the Rick and Morty shit.
And saying that as
Yeah,
well,
like to, right?
fungus, like mycelium, fungi of various types and species are found on every single part of the world. Every single part. What if this is I love mushrooms. But what if,
Mushrooms talk to each
because
other, which blows my mind.
that's where they say that we got cannabis from, because they found strains of cannabis in Hawaii at that time. a lot of like our bacteria and things like that came from other places and things. Like they know that, it didn't just start here on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
But what if the mycelium and fungi are the alien species, given what we
Mm-hmm.
know about mycelium and stuff like that, landed in Antarctica, spread from there across all of the lands, and really mycelium and fungi are what started the
Robbie.
foundations of growing into what we have now. It elevated everything it touched. So bacterias, animals, and they even say with the human mind that the difference between the Neanderthals and what we have for modern day humans is the ones that ate mushrooms and evolved because
Mm-hmm.
of the mushrooms, because of the neural pathways that were opened in our
Mm-hmm.
minds due to these the psilocybin and
She's
everything.
going Terrence
So
McKenna on us.
I'm going Miss Cat on us. So what if everything, because if everything blew up, everything was destroyed in nuclear holocaust right now, and everything on the planet was gone, the only thing that would still be alive is mycelium
Yep.
and mushrooms and fungi.
And a lot of it
And it would
thrives in
it would
radiation.
start the whole process all over again. And yes, there is fungus that actually eats radiation.
Mm-hmm.
So what if it just started all back up again?
Yep.
That I'm sorry, it's off of the topic of Antarctica, but when I started thinking about the asteroids and then like the conjunction of like the different things that came from it and the fact that fungi is found on like every landmass, it's just
Oh,
interesting
it
to me,
like
and
it
maybe
makes
that's what helped
sense.
us develop.
Yeah.
But you know,
No,
but also
it makes sense.
what the Antarctica? I want to know. I want to go. I want to see with my own two peepers
Mm-hmm.
and
But they're
report back
also
to you
saying,
all.
like, going to your mushroom point,
And for
they're
100
saying,
subs, I would tell everybody the secret.
yeah, exactly, right. They are they have already done well, they're doing more studies recently. I mean, they've been doing studies forever on hallucinogens, mushrooms, things like that. But they've done the studies that really blow my mind, right? That really blow my mind about your mushroom conversation is the people who do get microdosed and they do
Mm.
it under hospital supervision and they do it under very strict rules and guidelines to get it, and then they get shown brain waves and they get tested and all this stuff. They all, and this is proven, like you can look up these studies, they've all in different countries having all these different studies done have heard, seen, and spoken to the same people. And it's not
Hmm.
a coincidence where they're just like seeing things and stuff like that. They've had full blown lives and conversations in a very short period of time while high and hallucinating on these quote unquote mushrooms, whatever. It is a mushroom,
Hmm.
that the mushrooms that they're doing, I don't know what strain it is, but they're doing it. And they've all claimed to meet this same civilization, this same group of beings that just appear to them, like wave in from like out of nowhere and are always quote unquote around us, just on a different wavelength. But this unlocks a part of their brain that lets them see these people. And they've had full blown conversations and they've come out of it and they've said things like, hey, I met this, I don't know what they were, but this light being that said, we've been waiting for you. We've been here the whole time. We knew you were doing this test. We were waiting for you to come and talk to us, blah, blah, blah. And if it was one guy, they'd call him crazy, but it was like hundreds of people across the world that have all experienced the same civilization that they've all met when they've been high on mushrooms, essentially. Microdosed.
And there's one particular mushroom species unique to that experience where they all see little like gnome type people.
The little gnome people one. Yeah, yeah, the
Yeah.
little gnome
It's
people
only
one.
from one type of mushroom, but everybody has the same trip when you eat that one mushroom.
Mm-hmm. It unlocks
Like,
this one, but that would be interesting because that could be turned into a pill that unlocks your brain to see one wavelength. Like maybe that's one
the veil.
dimension. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the very specific dimension that they were able to see with that one strain of mushroom.
And that goes to say, like with our eyes and everything, because I know we watched that video yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and about what we can see with our eyes and what how it would look if we were looking at it through, say, a dolphin, and
Mm-hmm.
how like their sonar can detect things that we necessarily wouldn't even see with our eyes,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And that could roll us right into the whole dolphin conversation that we've been having, and I don't even know if that
We should do that on another one, because that one in itself is very interesting.
that's a whole
We could
nother
do a whole
day.
thing on animals.
Yeah, that's a whole nother day of conversations if we were to do animals and dolphin related things. But
Yeah.
back to like the Antarctica thing, I really do like. I don't think the planet's that much bigger than we think it is. I don't. Part of my soul doesn't think there's like a giant wall around the planet. Like from all my traveling I've done and stuff, I've gone from one side to the other, and I just don't.
It
That
would
one,
throw it off base where we'd be more like cone shape, I think. If because like we've been around the top part. Are you telling me like the bottom part is bigger? That would be weird.
yeah, it's like that one thing doesn't. That's a harder one for me to swallow. But the
Yeah.
bunker theory of there being an advanced civilization that survived a fallout of human dumbassness that could be in a bunker in Antarctica would, in theory, make more sense to me. With the fresh water, the resources to survive would be there. Um,
Hmm.
they would have had the technology to build something that we can't fathom today. It would have been protected by the mountain ranges and everything that they have down there from a natural disaster like a flood or a tidal wave or something. The air quality probably would have been fine because if they have that natural resource of trees and all that stuff down there and the water supply and everything, they probably would have been okay. If the ice wall exists, they could have used it to keep out the riffraff or anything that would have happened. I mean, it's a perfect defensible kind of position for somebody who's trying to like sit out the next thing happening. So in your conversation about all these governments down there, if this bunker or this, when I say bunker, it could be the size of like Texas, it could be like with the
Yeah.
size of Antarctica, this
Oh,
could be,
it's definitely huge because
yeah,
like if you were to see, say this is Antarctica,
yeah, Y2,
right?
right?
Like this is
Mm-hmm.
the size of Antarctica. You only get to see around it, and then there's like this part that's like completely cut off in the middle, and then also one particular little dot that is completely just blurred out.
Yeah.
For it to be like, oh, we just can't see that part, is like, really? Like you could see all of that, but that one dot is not there, and then like it's chiseled out in like 90-degree angles. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just seems a bit. You can't see that.
Just a little sussy,
Did you
just a
have
little
like a piece of
sussy pants
like
over there,
dust
right?
on your lens? Like what?
Yep. It's one of those things where like I our first podcast was like the vampire thing made sense at the end. The second one was the energy of them going into balls and powering their own spaceships so they don't turn into goop, and then they come back down to earth and they're not balls of energy anymore and they turn into physical things, and you
And
get
since
hurt.
talking about that, I've seen multiple other videos coming out with the
Yeah.
same like people saying the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
like military personnel that I
Yeah.
hadn't seen before, and I'm like, seems more plausible,
It
dude.
seems more plausible, so that made sense. And now this one, I just like, you got to follow your gut, and the bunker thing makes sense to me because we're finding all of this advanced technology on the planet, right? Like they're trying to
Hmm.
debunk certain things. They're trying to debunk how the pyramids were made. They're trying to debunk why is there pyramids on the whole planet when nobody met each other and nobody knew about the stuff. Why is there cave drawings of primitive human beings on our planet that see ships and people with helmets on and all this other stuff? And if
Why are
you
the shapes
really,
under Antarctica in the same sort of pyramid sort of
they
type of
say that there's
thing?
pyramids under Antarctica and there's shapes of this and that. And it's like, what if that was just the building structure of advanced humans back in the day? What if that just made sense? That's how they did things. So
Yeah.
picture picture the world ending. It's billions of years old. It could have ended 15 times. Humans could have been restarted 15 times at this point. We're constantly finding pottery and shit in the ground that they date back even further. And they're like, fuck, wait, we got to change the history books today. So
Hmm.
just imagine, I just can't get over this, that this makes sense, that they're, and that could be the lizard people thing too. This could be the lizard people thing. Like they went
That's what I'm
underground.
saying. What if they're coming up from the hole and eating us?
like
What
they
if they're
went,
farming us?
it was just another type of evolved human back in the day. It's still a human of some kind. It's just a different genetic evolution of us, but they're the ones that
Hmm.
survived. Like they said, alligators and shit, reptiles would be the shit to survive a meteorite or whatever, or they can literally be frozen in ice, thawed 7 years later, and still get their heartbeat back and be totally fine, brain waves and everything. Like they survive. So
Yeah.
if we evolved to be like a lizard person, like it wouldn't be far-fetched that it would be a past human civilization that was going through some trauma. Like maybe ours is this nuclear holocaust, but theirs could have been like you said, like the ozone, they did something and the ozone cracked open and the sun burned the earth, or the flood, like the something happened and the plates shifted and the earth flooded. You know, if it was a world-ending event, the one stable thing that humans are always doing is going every time. We're not trying to go into space. We're not trying to get a floating city up in the air. We're not trying to go anywhere else. We're always burrowing our ass into the dirt.
It's our first instinct whenever there's like an emergency or something like that is to go under something.
Under something every single
Yeah.
time. So is it that far-fetched, with the earth being billions of years old, that there couldn't have been an Atlantis? There couldn't have been an Eden. There couldn't have been, these could have just been advanced civilizations that existed, that flourished, got angry at each other, fought, something happened, and the ones that survived were the, what's up, Emerald? And the ones that survived were the quote unquote lizard people, which went underground here and figured their shit out, or the whatever they call them. They were trying to give them a name in Antarctica, and they just went into their bunker in Antarctica, which was a habitable landmass before the Ice Age. They went down there and did their thing. Other whatever groups maybe just died out because they couldn't figure their shit out, and they just died and they're gone. Our bones don't last forever,
Hmm.
and they're gone. So like it it makes sense. Maybe the aliens aren't aliens. They were the flying humans back in the day. They were the ones that figured out technology and had ships and things and could go places. Maybe the flying saucers actually can't go out into space. They're just going out of your view and then going underground into their little bunker. Maybe they're like our
Through
planes
the
nowadays.
wormhole that is in the middle of Antarctica.
Yeah, or
Would
like
make
that.
sense.
Or
Because
something like that.
like there's always so because there's
Bigfoot could also be
telescopes
human.
and yeah, there's telescopes and there's cameras on satellites in space that you can watch. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can go on and you can look at and you can watch. You never see UFOs out in outer space.
No.
Like on those things. They have never seen, at least they don't tell us, anything out there that they've seen
No.
that's weird. But even like it's always within the realm and the atmosphere, stratosphere of the Earth.
Yeah.
So what if there is a wormhole in Antarctica that they are just like shooting in and out of, like because it's just so easy.
Yeah. It's
And
either
that would
that
be
or
a
they
very
or
good
they
reason as to why you can't fly over Antarctica.
yeah.
If you can't fly over it because you'll see them. That's basically their like Highway 10. It's their
Mm-hmm.
that is their Trans Canada, that is their, I-91 or whatever you guys have. I like that's their highway. You can't see
Yeah.
them. You'll impede traffic. You will be the goose in the middle of the road because we're so primitive. We would be the geese in the middle of the fucking
Mm-hmm.
highway that everything has to stop traffic for.
Yeah.
You know?
It's either that or, like I said, they can't actually leave the planet. They're not spaceships. They're just planes, but they're their planes from back then, and they were just a different version. They were more
Or Wakanda
advanced.
plane.
Yeah, like literally, like they're just planes. And when we see them go up into space and disappear, whatever, they're not leaving. They're just going out and back to where they came from
I have
on
to
the
pee. I'll be
Earth.
back.
That's fine. So like that to me makes, so what's your beliefs in the afterlife? So why too? I'm very spiritual. I believe that there's something in us. There's a soul, there's a consciousness. Like what makes you you? I do believe that we're not just dirt when we die. There's something. I don't believe in religion. I think religion is a hoax that was thought up of many, many years ago so that people could be controlled by a higher power, quote unquote, government entity or somebody in charge of the church or the military. I think kings and queens and royalty kind of thought this shit up so that they could control the public and the masses because they were losing control of them. So how do you control humans? You put the fear of, quote unquote, God in them, and you give them a list of rules and regulations that they need to follow. And that's it. Humans are very susceptible to following groups and following rules and following the path of someone else. We're very boring in the sense that we want to follow, we want to be loved, we want to be liked by somebody. And I think back when there was no TV, there was no excitement, people would go to the burning of a witch in the middle of a town square and have popcorn because it was the fun thing to do. They didn't have anything else to do. Religion doesn't necessarily explain where you go when you die. Maybe you don't go anywhere because energy is constantly moving and rotating. We are just energy. They've already proven that we are kinetic energy. The aura that you see around your body is energy. Your heart gets started with an electrical pulse. Our nerve endings and everything, it's all electricity. Like we literally have electricity. We're a
Our
circuit board.
neuropaths are
Yeah,
just
exactly.
constantly shooting out energy.
Yeah,
So.
we are constantly producing energy in order to move. We are a meat bag of mechanics. And the only reason religion came about is to control the public, is to make everyone follow the same path and direction. I don't mean to get off the Antarctica thing, but since you brought it up, this is where the chat can bring things up. Believe in whatever you want, but it was a book of rules and regulations. It was laws before there was laws. And because everyone took their own bit. Like why isn't there one government? Why isn't there
because
one world
it
order?
didn't work for what they were trying to do. I mean, look at the King James Bible and how derived it is from
There's like 30
the
different
basis
Bibles.
There's so many, and every single one of them, like the one that they follow in America now, is so full of propaganda, first of all, and rewritten to meet their agendas.
So
every single religion has an agenda. That's why some religions still think that women have smaller brains than men, when we know scientifically this is false.
Because it's to control the masses.
But if you were to follow the religion, I'm not going to name religions, but they think that women are lesser beings than men. Sorry, but our uterus is literally a portal that gives birth to another life.
But that's the thing, that it's very okay. So like veering off the path here just for a minute, it's very everything in there contradicts the page before it. Everything contradicts the thing after it. Every single one of them contradicts the one that somebody else made in another country. So the thing why too that you got to understand with like religion and the Bible and things like that is we say the Bible because it's the most widely known piece of religion, story behind it. If you were going to try to explain to people some historical event, if you were going to try to explain to people what an asteroid would do to the planet, if you're going to try to explain to people what a fire could do to a forest back in the day, you would make a story. You would create a tale. And everything in the Bible is just a story or a tale of a natural event that most likely happened and they didn't know how to explain it. So they made it all fantastical. And that's pretty standard operating for humans throughout the years when they created other documents and texts that weren't quote unquote coined as religious. They were just books of natural history and disasters. They still spoke of gods and this and that and all these other things, creating this and throwing a lightning bolt at that when it was just a cloud creating lightning and lighting a thing on fire. But now we have another god. We have the god of lightning now. Great. Another one. It was a way to explain the unexplainable before we understood what it was. And it was a way for kings and queens and people in charge to control the people they didn't want. And it's becoming more and more obvious these days that was what it was, because look at our government right now. They're still toting the Bible. They're still praying in the Capitol, even though there's supposed to be a separation of church and state.
They're worshiping Baal while pushing Christianity onto people.
Like, they do these things to make you obey, to make you follow. but the science don't make the biological science don't make sense. Like, how do you explain a soul? They haven't figured this shit out yet. They've figured out consciousness and where things are stored in these little tubes in your brain that are considered memory, but they've also taken images of energy leaving the body when
I
people
think the
die.
soul is an easy thing to figure out, honestly. I honestly think that it's energy. Like it, if you look at it honestly, there's also like, I mean, the concept that we are the universe, uh we're just vessels of the universe, and the very consciousness of a universe, of a vast greater thing.
Mm-hmm.
So in some sense, yeah, you can consider that a god, but really, as far as I'm concerned, we're all alike one another in the same, like, we are all made of the exact same shit. So the fact
Mm-hmm.
that we've dumbed it down to, oh, these little gods, like puny, I'm going to say the Hulk right now. I'm going to quote the Hulk, puny god, because it is puny in like, as limitless as Christians and Muslims like to think that their gods are, they are completely limited to the parameters of a human mind, because
Mm-hmm.
we are the ones that created them in the first place.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look at it from a scientific perspective, like numbers, numbers never end, energy doesn't end. And if you look at it from that context, we are all united in this one energy, and different portions of us, we share the same sort of, um what you would say, I guess, general makeup,
Mm-hmm.
but overall, like, we're all a part of a consciousness witnessing ourselves.
Yeah. And they're doing studies right now to try to figure out if, when people, because a lot more people are signing up to let them basically film them when they die and like study them when they're older. So they're getting a lot more proof of
Absolutely.
different things. Um,
Uh-huh.
who created the creators, i.e., aliens who created them, and so forth. That's the thing that goes back to her like evolution
That goes right back to
conversation
what I just said, and it
about
might be difficult
mushrooms
for some
and
people to understand, because it is just a simple idea that takes away, like,
mm-hmm.
no, like, creator so much, like it. And you know what, I don't think I can explain it to you, because I don't have the answers for it. It's too big for humans to consider.
You're a
The
mushroom.
vastness itself of the universe, and it's ever expanding, and the idea that it's not just one, but what's his name, Mikio, the physicist, the Japanese physicist, but he even just came out and said, like, there could be dinosaurs passing us right now, and we are just on a different wavelength to not be able to see them.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know, but I can God telling us we're going to heaven or hell, and like, oh, if you're born gay, blah 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 blah. Like,
It's people.
it's it's human beings.
It's
It's the
people who are
limits,
trying to
and
control other people because they're greedy.
it's the limitations of human beings. And one day, when we are dead, we probably still won't really know, because I think that we are just a small, infinitesimal size to what the great vastness of whatever it is.
No, so Kat
You
and I
know?
talked about that evolution didn't stop at us. Evolution just doesn't know what to do with us anymore, because
Mhm.
everything on this planet is trying to kill us at all given times, and we don't have the ability to kind of be here anymore. Like, we're not made for this planet. So that's the thought, that we weren't from here,
Yeah,
that we
because
were
humans,
potentially put here.
you're talking about evolution. I'm talking about evolution in terms of how alien we are to this particular planet, that we are not made to be here. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you look at it, like, we have lived side by side with wolves, and wolves have evolved in various different ways to be here already and to survive. And the fact that their paws don't freeze because they have a particular, I forget the scientific term on it now, because brain, but they can close off their capillaries in their veins, and increase the flow and decrease the flow in their feet, to keep them from freezing to death. And birds can do the same things and stuff like that. And we have grown with these, yet we have not evolved to have the same attributes
Yeah.
to survive. We go outside. If I go outside right now, my feet are gonna freeze.
Mm-hmm.
But my dogs can go out willy nilly and be fine.
Mm-hmm. It's like anything that belongs here is evolving to continue to be on this planet, and anything that doesn't belong here is a virus and it's getting filtered out. And I have thoroughly believed that this isn't our home planet. Like, we were created somewhere else.
I've seen Jesus in heaven and hell. I mean, you know, people have seen a lot of things.
I don't think Jesus and...
Does that mean it's all real? I used to think gremlins were after me when I had night terrors. Does that mean that there's gremlins are real? Now.
But so that's why it's extremely impossible to argue with someone or have a communication with someone who's very religious, because they're born and their brain is developed with a family who only allows them to think in one direction. And
it's limited.
It's limited through a straw conversations that you have at your dinner table, and it's not your fault. It's just your life, and that's all you are taught. It's just
inconceivable to think outside of that, and I get it. I know a lot of Christians I grew up with that could not look outside. Like, they could not believe in God because of fear. I've been told by many Christians they don't want to question because they're afraid to question because they're afraid of what God will think. It's not God.
It's another thing too. It's
drilled into you.
It's the fear of. It's also a fear of kind of like, what does it matter? You know what I mean? It's like, if there is a God, cool. I've been doing this thing that I was told my entire life, and I'm good. Well, if there isn't a God, then I've still been doing this thing that I've been doing my entire life, and it didn't make a difference, and it meant nothing. But you know, I'm still good. You know, so there's not like. There's no lose-lose to someone who's religious, because whether there is going to be something at the end of the day, they consider themselves safe because they've been doing whatever they're doing. But if there isn't something, they're still safe because they just live their life one way, and who cares? Because they still got to the same end result. But what is the
end result that they all try to obtain? To be a good person. Like my grandparents, extremely religious.
It's a book of rules.
Slapped me on the back of the head so many times for the things that I would say and stuff. Like, I mean, I remember getting heavily chastised when I was 6 years old, telling my grandmother that I didn't believe in God and what the man in the church was saying, and I thought that he was scary. I got reprimanded very much. I got slapped on the so hard, but that was my entire life with them, and that's why I was probably the black sheep of the family, because I wasn't afraid. I didn't have this fear, but for them, it worked and it was fine, and they went to church. I go to church with them. I've gone to Catholic church. I've taken communion because I was like my parents had me whatever confirmed or whatever in Anglican religion, and I take communion and stuff like that too for the hell of it. I'm just like yeah blah 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 blah. Like, it makes them happy, I'll do it because I don't care. It's a weird human tradition.
But when you did
and I'm hungry, so a little wafer might be good.
When you did it and when you didn't do it, nothing in your life changed.
But why would they be this willing to destroy this world through nukes? Because they don't believe in Christianity. That is the whole point. They are the government trying to control us with religion. They don't believe it themselves. Are you kidding me? The shit they do? No Christian would let children die. There are Cubans right now who are dead, hundreds of them, who are without life support and died because the U.S. are literally starving them of fuel and food.
The people who are telling you Christian to follow would do that. Those religions are not following it themselves.
Yes. It's like, okay, let me put it to you this way. With kids, okay?
Catholic Church
what have we grown up knowing? What have we grown up like being told and stuff? It's just like, oh, you better go to bed or the boogeyman's going to get you. And that is translated in every culture. In the Philippines, they had this monster that would come, and it's like, if you don't go to sleep when your parents tell you to, this monster with red eyes is going to come and take you into the forest and eat you and stuff. Like a typical boogeyman thing. Did we believe it or did they believe it? No, they knew it was bullshit, but they just wanted us to go to sleep and to listen to them.
Pay attention. So
that's Zionism. It is Christianity.
It is.
Are you kidding me?
It's all the same.
It is. So Donald Trump, okay? Donald Trump, all of those guys, all those religious freaks in the U.S., like, like, stop defending a religion that doesn't give a f about you. Honestly,
Yeah,
they
no.
would sacrifice you in a heartbeat to meet their agenda.
Every time. And they
Don't
are.
fall for that shit.
They're
It's
sacrificing
not
people right now.
Christian to starve people. It's not Christian to cast them away. If there was a second coming of Christ, they would have him and called a terrorist.
The
And
very
that is
first
the truth
day,
of Christianity.
the very first day he said there's going to be losses with this war, but oh well, you'll get over it. Americans
Yeah,
are going to die.
that's just war. That's war.
And a good portion
Some
of
of
the
you will die,
military,
and
a good portion of the military is religious. And
yeah.
these are supposed to be your leaders that are in charge of this, that are toting on a Bible every day of their lives, and they're going against everything that it says and letting you die. So it's like,
Okay, Y2J. If you believe that, if you're saying that the Christians didn't, if Christians are acting biblically the way that they are supposed to act, then what was the point of Jesus coming in the first place and telling us to be kind and love one another and to love thy neighbor as thyself? What was the point? Because Christianity, people will say, I follow Jesus and the teachings of Christ. So if you're defending Christians in the Bible for Jesus, then you're defending the slavers now.
nobody told him to do anything.
Okay, see, I'm going to stop talking about it with you because, like, obviously you are very confusing yourself in what you believe and what you're trying to get through and what you're trying to say.
Nobody told anyone to do anything. They did it themselves. That goes back to the point where they created this to control the masses. So with tax write-offs and things, I like that we kind of covered Antarctica a little bit. Now we veered into this, which is fine because this is what this is all about. But and this could be the advanced civilization that did this there anyway. But how come I could start a religion tomorrow? I could start one tomorrow.
Yeah.
I could start the religion of lemons tomorrow if I wanted to. I would sign a document. I would submit it to the government. I would get a tax write-off. I would become a tax-free entity. I would just need a certain number of followers, a place of residence where I could preach and do my thing, and I could have
and give lemonade as communion.
I could have the House of Lemons tomorrow, and we follow.
Hey, that's actually fire. I like that. House
we
of
follow
Lemons.
the overarching god of lemons. Now, this is out there, Y2. This is out there, but just kind of put these together. Put these together. So now we have this lemon god. Lemons game? Exactly. We have this lemon god now. I am the Messiah of the lemon god. I started it. I am the priest. What I say goes because I am the only one that can hear the lemon god.
In lemons we trust.
In lemons we trust. He speaks to me and only me. So now I go in front of this group and I tell them, I need you to listen to me. Iranians are bad. They like limes. Limes. We are the lemons. We have weapons. I need all of you to follow my orders.
The limes are the infidels.
The limes are the infidels. I need you to go and die for me because I was told by our lemon god, the lemon god, I was told, I heard him speak to me, believe me, that you need to go limes.
Yep.
So, limes. But it's people that listen to that person that hears something that they don't hear because they want to control you, that then tells you to do a thing.
What god, Robbie? What god? Which god?
Scared, so you go do the thing that person told you to do. Because that person controlled you. Now they own you. Now you're scared. Now you think there's this thing that's going to... Because everyone's afraid to die. Everyone's like... They follow this god or whatever because they want this amazing ending to their life. If you don't follow
the god of lemons, you will not get vitamin C anymore and you will die of scurvy.
And we won't let you into the orchard when you die.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. It's a human being that wanted power and they figured out how to control people by making some shit up and they made them think that they were being told something from someone else. Because I can tell you right now, Jesus was probably real. And he was probably an amazing person. And he probably had all this cool shit he wanted to do. He was
definitely Pleiades for sure.
Oh yeah. He had all this amazing shit he wanted to do. He was speaking the truth. He was speaking like the rules that you need to do this to be a good like he just knew in his heart what a good person needed to be at the time and place that he lived in. Like he knew what good and bad was. He knew you needed to give bread or food to your fellow person. Like he gave handouts. He was basically the guy working in the soup kitchen back in the day. Like he knew how to do right by everyone, and he needed to let everyone know that this is how world should be. This is going to make everyone happy, and we are all going to be amazing and better for it. And what happened?
Yep.
There was somebody who was evil and didn't agree with it and was like, no, because if we do that, everyone will be equal, and I can't be equal with everyone. I'm better than them because humans all have this sickness in them.
Why isn't there a book of Jesus in the Bible?
I gotta be
why
better
isn't there a
than
book
them.
Of why did they have that book and so many others held under the Vatican that will not be released, along with what, like they said, 12,000 other books of writings and teachings and stuff like that? Like,
so
that's why I say, like, what God? What God? Because is it the Jewish God? Is it the Muslim God? Is it the Christian God? Or is it Baal? Because isn't it so funny that the Iranian war started right after Israel said, after they burned in Iran a statue of Baal, they said, this is an act of war. And literally 2 weeks later, we were in World War III. They don't believe what they're out. They do not believe any of the shit that they're even saying. They just only believe in what they want to believe, and they push everything else onto you. And what does it do? It causes people to fight. It causes division. It causes easier control, because now people aren't united into one belief. They're divided into separate tiny little factions of beliefs, and now they're easier to manipulate. It would be the same as if there was 100. Exactly. It would be the same as if you took 100 people and divided them into groups of 10, and each one of them was told a certain thing that was completely fact. This is fact, and if you don't believe it, they're all going to try to change your mind. They're all going to tell you that you're false. Don't believe them. And then they integrate that group back together, and they start fighting because I was told this and this is fact. No, I was told this and this is fact, and that you were wrong. Religion.
Seriously, and it's completely government run, because why would it be tax free if it wasn't government run? Like,
why did they split it up? Y2J, if it's the same God, why is it all split up? And like I said again,
it's been run by the government since the beginning. It's been run by the king. It's been run by the government. It's been religion back in the day was the king was appointed by God, and you needed to rule under him and follow him. It was always a way to force people to fall in line and listen to the one person that was in charge of them and do whatever they needed. And it was the one way to create your communities and stop them from ever revolting against you. And the only time a king or like an entity in charge was ever overrun was when the people were sick and tired of it, and they said, I'm just going to go. Wouldn't that have pissed off their God? What's up, Camaro? What's going on, dude? Wouldn't that have pissed off their God? Lightning would have struck the ground, said, no, this is the point.
Once again, I say, what God, though? How are they all talking? Yeah, how are they all, like, you say that, oh, but this is the word of God, not people. It's like, but if God spoke to all these different people, then why are they all under a different religion? Why are they all blah, 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 blah?
We know prophets exist.
Because people.
Because prophets were just a human being that had a way of doing things, and they spoke a certain way.
They were philosophers.
They were philosophers.
More than philosophers.
They were
like
just
Buddha.
educated. They were just educated. like Jesus was a prophet. He was just an educated human being who knew right from wrong. And everything says that he was a great guy. He was probably the nicest person on the planet at that time.
Yep.
Probably loved peace, hated war, hated people being mean to each other, preferred to like give his shirt off his back to like I could be the Jesus of today. Like, I would give my shirt off my back. I would give away my money if I like had it. Mm-hmm. I would give food to people. Like, I would do all this other stuff. But if I went against my government, they would.
Exactly.
If I was a threat to my government in any way, shape, or form, they would.
What force, Robbie? Because I'm pretty sure we covered the fact that it's all bullshit.
Like, that's the thing. I would be. And this is why the conspiracy talks are great, because you can get into this. Like, and this still ties into Antarctica, because if there's some advanced civilization down there that they don't want us to know about, And it
It
came
would
out,
challenge the idea of God.
all of
It
it,
would challenge the idea of religion. Got to keep that under wraps.
all of it.
Yep.
And long story short for me, oh, the devil and the antichrist. I get what you're saying, but that's also a con
Yeah.
to make
Okay.
people. So how do you keep people controlled and stop them from realizing what they're doing is fake? You make a narrative that challenges it, that scares them.
Yeah.
So that's the oldest con trick in the book. That if you're
And
going to,
honestly, if there was a Lucifer, was he really that wrong?
he would have been fantastic, because the way the Bible explains it is
Get him on the
that
podcast.
the way that the yeah, because it's their cult, they control it. So the way that the way that everything explains God is that he basically got tired of humans. Like, he was going to wipe us out like 6 times over. And the story of Lucifer was that he challenged God to protect the humans and stop this from happening. So he was the one that basically stood up for human beings. And the whole story was, if you want to be like them, you might as well be with them. And he was thrown down. And he was cast out of heaven because he challenged his father to like protect humans. And now all of a sudden he's in charge of our downfall and our death and our destruction, and is the guy who like coaxes us into challenging sin and
Sounds
things
like
like
God's
that.
got an emotional control problem.
So
He might be on his period.
if we're going to go down that path, Lucifer, or the devil, is actually the good guy, and God was the bad guy who tried to wipe humans out quite a few times. So if Lucifer is whispering to you and saying there's these things that you should probably challenge in your God and that you should probably be doing, just have fun, you should probably listen to him and just commit those sins and have some fun, because he's probably telling you the truth.
People to kill their own
No.
sons and shit anyway, so.
The people, I don't think they're controlled by an ulterior
Okay, yeah,
power.
I wanted to touch on what Robbie was saying there, because he said people that run the world are extremely religious. Exactly. And our point, Robbie, is that we think that religion, because
Yeah,
it is,
Cameron.
our point
Camaro.
is that it's just a method of control of the masses. Period. Period. They will do what they want. Period. Based on their own cult, the cult of Baal, which predates all the other religions. Period. Okay?
It's all the same basis. It all goes down to control.
It does.
Desecration of creation. I mean, yes, that's part of it. It is in there, but it's still like that's just the frosting. Like, the cake itself is control.
Yeah.
Like, you can sugarcoat it with any color sprinkle you want, with any conversation you want, in any religious context that you want, with any fight, with anything. You can. There's so many things that get sprinkled on every day. You put one person that is grown up in each religion in a room together, and they all spout the same thing. They're afraid of something. Exactly.
They're afraid of it. It's all fear-based.
They're all afraid.
Religion is a fear-based control
of something.
What is this unknown, unseeable force that, apparently controls everything, but left us like a forgotten ant farm, like you had said earlier? Yeah, God is a child with an ant farm, and he's long gone. He's gone to college. He's got a family, and he doesn't give a shit about the ant farm anymore. Ant farm fighting each other to the death because we're all starving and going without and neglected. We're stuck in this little thing.
My least favorite thing ever is the biggest cop-out on this planet, and why I hate religious people so much. I hate them so much. Because the biggest cop-out is, I would drop everything to help someone. I would do everything in my power to physically do what I can. I am not going to go to the side of my bed and pray for you. I'm going to get my ass out of my chair, and I'm going to go and try to do something and help you. When someone says, I'm going to pray for you, I say, you better not, and you better get in your car and come here, because I need your help. So it's one of those things where
it's like a friend messaging you and being like, "Oh, how are you?" And you say, "Oh, I'm going through a really hard time right now. I've got this going on and that going on," and then they just literally write back and say, just like, "Oh, well, sending strength." Like,
it's just
you're not a friend if all you say is sending strength. Like, thanks, I feel nothing.
Bottom line, I don't believe in a god. Period. I
Yeah.
don't believe in a man floating around on a cloud like Goku from Dragon Ball Z looking down on us.
No.
I don't think
The
it's real.
last people that I would trust
I'm
to
not
tell me that
changing
there is a
that.
God are the people who are trying to destroy the world themselves for their own entitlement. Why
Yes.
would you believe anything that those people have to say when you are nothing but something to be smashed and squished and used and enslaved? Why would you trust anything that they have to say?
And you can't it's not a there's nothing why to
What could God do to prove
it's
that
because
he
it's
exists? There's nothing.
there's nothing.
He could
The
have done it in the last like 2,000 years. He could have done anything and refused to do anything. I don't believe that it exists
I think
because it just logically
so
doesn't make sense
that
either.
part right there, Robbie's 100% correct. I do think Jesus was a really amazing person who, quote unquote, did teach the way at his time. I think he was a
Yeah.
person that spoke the way people should treat each other, a way to live,
Hmm.
and it comes from a place of love, 100%.
He was the
And
original hippie.
I think it was a real person, and I think he was because he didn't fit the narrative of the people in charge at the time. He was
Yeah.
about the people. He was about protecting and helping the poverty stricken and the everyday like person, not the people. There was always somebody in charge. There was always somebody in charge.
Yep.
It was not
We've
the
always had
way.
leaders. They've
It
always
was
tried to control us.
always, and there was back
Hmm.
to caveman time. There was a person in charge, bigger than everyone else every time, and this was a person who was for the people, and they got shut out every single time. We have someone that's for the people. Even nowadays, they disappear or they're poisoned or they're whatever. We have only ever had terrible people in charge
Yeah.
because the bad guys always win because they're willing to get rid of the good guys, but the good guys are always
They're
trying
ruthless.
to change the mind of the bad guys, not physically remove them from the planet. Um, it's just,
No, we're talking about all religions for the
it's
most part.
just,
Because
I,
people have taken good ideas, the people have taken the good moral idea of just being a good, kind person. Like my belief is to be kind. That is
yeah,
my
same.
belief. If I seen somebody starving on the side of the road, I'm not going to stop and be like, wait, 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 before I help you, what religion are you? Like,
No,
I'm not because I don't care. You're suffering. Like,
it's
so
like the
I
woman who
wouldn't.
called around to all the churches in her area to get the baby formula that we talked about, and the only ones that helped her was Muslim and and
Yeah,
the Jewish community. All the Christian,
yeah.
Catholic, Lutheran, Protestant, whatever, all told her that she wasn't a part of their church and didn't pay fees to their church, so they couldn't in good faith help her because they needed to help their community members who were sponsoring their own community.
Yeah. To touch on that,
Jesus
Rob.
would have
My point.
rolled
My
over
point
in
was
his
going.
grave.
Yeah. My point with that, Robbie, was going to be, I don't believe in God. Nothing is making me be afraid that if I don't do these things, that I'm going to go to hell. Like nothing is telling me, like, oh, you know, if I'm not going to hell for that. I'm a human being. God wouldn't have given us and if we weren't going to handle ourselves. Like that's uh like honestly, I'm not going to go to hell for that. I'm not going to go to hell for the way that I think. Nobody is going to go to hell because they'd rather up the butt than a woman. Like some people are gay, some people are not. Animals are sometimes gay. Are they going to hell? Is a tiger who will not lay with another tiger of the opposite sex going to hell? No, I don't think so. Because who gives a right? But you would say that those are innocent. But like, pretty sure that's not in the Bible. Well, you need to tell a lot of people in Christianity that, my lovey. Because at the end of the day, once again, everything is derived to control people. At the end of the day, I don't have a God above me that I fear to tell me I'm I'm a good person because I did this and I'm going to go to church on Sunday and all of my sins are going to be all gone and I'm going to be a good person again. Because at the end of the day, I don't think God. At the end of the day, there's nothing telling me do this, this, and this, and this, and then you'll be considered a good person. It's so easy to be kind. You don't people, and what are the people who push this religion onto everyone doing? They people. The Vatican has multiple people. The church has gone into here in Canada, in the U.S., into Africa. They've gone into almost everywhere and have and
in the name of God.
They disrespect females. Like, as a female, why the I follow any of them when I come out of the womb and it's just like, female, control it. It's stupid. It doesn't have a big brain. It's a lesser human being. Even though all human beings come from females, they are lesser humans. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but Robbie, that's the point, because
we don't believe in God.
It's
like
all a
what
scam.
You're not understanding is that you call something God, right? I call it energy, the universe.
Yeah.
I don't put a religious, sanctimonious sort of title upon something that is just literally nature flowing. That's the difference.
When you think about it,
I wouldn't somebody because they didn't believe it. Like, you guys might not believe it. I'm not going to be for it, because in the Bible, that's the thing. People are killing each other because they think it's the right thing to do. Even though the Bible explicitly says, do not kill somebody, you have people in the name of their God.
The other thing, too, is you're constantly being told that we're made in God's image, right? That's brought up all the time. Well, no, we're made in the so does that mean he's human? Does that mean that he looks like us? So does that mean that it's actually a person in charge that's telling you that they're God and they're controlling you? Like, let's go back and talk to those people. Oh, we can't. So you can't get the truth, right? So it's one of those things where there is not a human being on this planet right now that is religious, that doesn't have thoughts in their head if they're in charge. There is nonstop people in charge of their churches that are doing all the bad things.
Christianity is that
they're
church,
told
though.
Not to.
Is Christianity. Christianity is the Vatican is organized religion in Christianity. If you want to believe in a God that you believe, okay, Jesus was his son and there is a God, that's one thing, okay? But the Christian religion is literally the Church of Christianity. It is literally, if you want to be agnostic and believe that there's a God,
people are winning.
If you want to be agnostic and believe that there is a God, but you don't believe in the Vatican, if you're saying you don't believe in the Vatican and everything, it's cool to say that you're agnostic. But we're really right. When you look at history books, when you look back on everything, we're very much saying the very factual thing that Christianity is a hateful, evil entity as a church as a whole. But if you want to believe in a God in all of those things and say you're agnostic and you believe that there's a God and you believe that there's probably a devil, well, I mean, you would have to believe in Christianity if you believe in Satan. That's the other thing. So really, you're confused within your own beliefs in that sense. The ability, God is not the ability. Okay, I'm
nice
just
cat.
Like,
no, not you. The other cat. Nice cat.
No, I'm just.
But that's a whole point that you're having, that whenever somebody on this planet, a human being, doesn't agree with something within a religion, they make a new one. Or if someone on this planet doesn't agree with something that's happening within a religion, then they make up something that makes it so that that one is degraded and whatever. So like Robbie's promoting his Christianity in a very certain way because that's what he believes. That's his thing. But if he were to sit down in a room with someone who's Jewish or Muslim or whatever, they're not going to agree with him. They're going to argue with him and say, no, you're wrong. This isn't a thing. This is the way that it is. So then they would literally be butting heads for the rest of their lives, because he was brought up one way and believes in one thing, and this other part of the planet was brought up this other way and believes in this other thing. But in the end, they both believe in what they consider this thing that they fear. So it's like, so now we're here arguing our point of not believing in any of this and the factual whatever that we believe, but we're never going to make anyone else believe, but I
Nah,
don't care. But that's the other thing that's interesting about
that's
religion
the
is
other thing.
I don't care to make them believe. I'm just telling them how I feel. But someone who's
Yeah.
religious will talk you down for years nonstop to force you to believe their thing.
And they'll circle around to, but God, but Satan, but God, but that's Satan, but that's God, but that's Satan.
I don't care what
It's
anyone
fucking
believes.
ridiculous.
And Cat's like, I'm just fucking Serbian, and drinking. But like, so that's
Yeah.
the other thing. Like, I don't believe in any of this, but
Hmm.
I'm not going to try to make you believe in it. When I shut down this podcast today and walk away, I'm going to go play Fortnite and not think about any of this, because this is just a now thing. But
Yeah.
To Robbie's point, he's having experiences that are making him feel a certain way. We're having experiences that are making us feel a certain way. I'm gonna have to say,
I just truly think that if you believe in the Christian God, you're asking what would it take for me to believe a God exists? Why do you believe God exists?
I'm kind of starting to feel
Is
like
it the
Robbie.
bloat flies that lay eggs in the eyes of children
Oh,
before they're
so fucking
even
gross.
like able to walk and
I'm
blind them with
I'm starting
excruciating pain?
kind
Is
of
it the good
reading
people who die of cancer? The children who die of cancer?
back
Is
on
it that?
Robbie's communication. I'm starting to feel more like he's. I think I'm slowly hearing Rob. I think I'm hearing Robbie wrong. He'll probably correct me, but I think I'm hearing him wrong. I think
Yeah.
he's less on the superhero thing up in the clouds, casting doubt on the human race, and more because he came to it late and wasn't brought up on it.
Yeah.
I think he's more pulling the moral standing that me and you have talked about, where this is a pathway that humans need to follow to be good humans, which is correct. We've all seen it. Like, somebody did put a
Yeah.
pretty good list of things that you should, as a general basis, to be a good human, you should be following these rules. The government, like we had said, does not follow these rules. They don't go down the, it's
Point
all greed,
blank.
and it's all every
Period.
man for themselves, not for the people, which is, yes, the opposite of what Jesus would have preached. So it's
I'm gonna
bad.
okay, so Y2J said the universe is too perfect on how it's created, that's why I believe in God. I also believe that the universe
Wait,
is
but
perfect, and
that's
that is
such
why
a
I don't
small way
believe
of
in God.
thinking,
And that is why
though.
I don't believe in God, because God came from the minds of humans. It did not come from anything else out there. Do you
That
understand?
exact, yeah, no, Robbie, like, I have atheists in my family too, so I get what you're saying. Rob, I can't not side with Robbie in the sense that he's forming his own mindset of things because of physical in life experiences he's having later in life after believing in nothing. So he is
Yes.
forming his own opinions and his own thoughts and feelings on things later in life without being corrupted from the start. So that's good. That's okay. So if Robbie believes in a
Pepper,
god,
the contradiction here. He's saying,
which
isn't it
one?
wild
Oh,
how
Robbie.
people
I
blame
didn't
God
read
for
that.
kids with cancer instead of Satan? Here's the contradiction, honey bunny. Lovey
Oh no,
wubby.
not the
Here
honey
it is.
bunny.
The honey bunny lovey wubby's coming out. Okay, so the contradiction is we are in the kingdom of God. Everyone says this is the kingdom of God, and Satan was cast out. And to say,
Yeah, why too?
this is the thing, this without interruption, because I'll lose the train of thought. To say that Satan is the reason that kids have cancer, that there's things on the planet, parasites, blah, 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 to say that Satan has power in the kingdom of God means that Satan is either more powerful than God, which would be blasphemous, or God has no power over his own kingdom, or God just doesn't give a f about us, that he is letting Satan run rampant in his kingdom. So which is it? Because the Bible specifically says that we are in the kingdom of heaven. It also specifically says that Satan might influence, but why isn't God stopping him? God is either not all powerful in that case, he is not all omnipotent, as people say, or he doesn't give us. Is that so? So the kingdom of heaven thing is bullshit that's written in the Bible as well.
But this
So
is
you're
also
saying this is
this,
the contradiction, though, Robbie. You're saying Satan has dominion over the earth.
but this is
So then
Robbie
God
kind
really
of
doesn't give a
creating
shit
his
about you.
own religion again, to our point, right? Like, this is Robbie
Yes.
not
He's
agreeing with
manipulating
something
what he reads in the Bible
to fit the narrative
to
that works
fit
best for
his
his
narrative.
life. This is how
Exactly.
new religions start. This
The
is
plan
how
has been laid out.
this
Okay.
is
Yeah.
how new religions start.
Or
This
maybe
is
it's when you get older, you start to fear that maybe you're going to hell, and that's why you started believing in God in the first place, because you might actually be fearing death a little bit. I don't fear death
I
because
don't
for me,
either.
when I
I've
die, I'm going
almost died
into
13
everything
times,
else, and
so
I'm fine with that.
but
Exactly.
but
I've
that's
nearly died before myself. Don't
but
care.
that's the thing.
When it happens, it happens.
He believes so strongly in this one section of the different religions that everything else is wrong, but
Exactly.
they only teach that it's right. So now I have to make my own thing and call it
Mm.
something different because it's not Christianity anymore, but I like this 10% of Christianity, so I'm going to take that 10%. It's not Catholic, but I like that 10% of Catholicism, so I'm going to take that 10%. It's not Jewish, but I like that 10% of Judaism, so I'm going to take that 10%.
Isn't that funny, Rob?
And it's like, that is, so now I have this bowl of the bits and pieces that I like, and I'm going to call it Lutheran. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
how and the name of the religion is the name of the person who decided to make that religion and took all the things, and now they're a prophet. So it's beating a dead horse. You're not going to win these battles with people who believe in a certain way that they believe in. It is what it is. But the
Yeah.
facts remain that these were human beings
I've
that
had this
created
with
these
my
things.
grandmother for years. Believe me, I'm not going to get my panties in a bunch because I don't wear panties. So I'm not going
Cherub.
to get twisted over it and try to convince anyone otherwise. I've lost friends who don't like my beliefs,
Yeah,
and when I
Cameron.
say I don't believe in God, literally
Yeah,
have
Cameron. That's
not
how it
been friends
happens,
with
though.
me anymore.
Camaro, not Cameron. I
But
called you Cameron again.
you know,
Damn it. But that's like, that's
you'll
how it
probably live
works.
longer than me, honestly.
I
Wow.
mean,
Now we're
that's
just getting.
fine. That's fine. I'm fine with that. I don't need to be here any longer than I need to. But um,
Tell you what, I'll
that's
come back and haunt you and throw
that's
bricks at
the
your head when I come back.
throw bricks. That's the that's the whole.
I didn't lose the debate though. That's the thing, is that I'm still very firm in my
But
beliefs,
that's
and
how
I'm looking at
someone.
you as somebody who is wrapped up in this whole brainwash idea of a god. Like, you went years without it. And
But
then all of a
someone
sudden you're
who's
like,
religious
I do believe
also,
in God.
they always end a conversation with "you lose" or like it's over. And I
You've
have
lost
proven
this
things,
debate.
but you've proven nothing. You've shown me a chapter from a Harry Potter book with magic and
Yeah.
mysticism and stuff, and told me that that is the truth. And you know what I mean? Like, there's no winning. Like, I don't
Christ
need.
will protect you.
That's fine. I don't need this.
Okay.
Like, that's, if that
Okay.
helps, if that's the thing though, that I can't ever get into religious stuff because it's the I'll pray for you, or I'll do this, or I'll do that, or it doesn't do anything. It does nothing.
Nah.
And it's like the only times that things get done is when people stand up and make a difference and do things for themselves. But also,
Yep.
what Robbie was saying was, if this is not the kingdom of heaven and Satan runs the planet, that's also the excuse of basically any bad things that humans do on this earth has nothing to do with God, and it's a way of someone mentally protecting this image of this person that's going to take them in when they die, so they want to be a good person now because,
So
okay,
all
I'm
bad things that happen is Satan. All good things
yes.
is God. Except we have free will to do what we want. So why can't the good things that I do be me and not God? Why is everything that's good attributed to it being God's will, but then anything that goes bad is like, oh, Satan?
It's just like, it's that thinking that sucks, because it's people who are religious now are willing to let the world burn and everyone else suffer and die, because in their minds they don't have to do anything
Yeah,
right
Robbie
now.
thinks that we're going to hell, so
Well,
that's
no,
fine.
it's in their minds. They don't have to help. They don't have to stop, the government from doing dumb things. They don't have to stop somebody from blowing up the planet. They each other. They don't have to stop famine.
Yeah.
They don't have to stop
Lazy.
diseases. They don't have to cure cancer. They don't have to do any of this because it doesn't matter. because they're the good person, and when they die, they're going to leave this physical shit form behind, and they're going to go be this amazing thing behind a gates of whatever and damn jig. And that's the reason why I hate religious people and religions, because they don't do, they're lazy as they won't do anything. They'll pray for you. They just care about themselves. And that's because they think in their minds that they're going to become this amazing being and go somewhere. So that's here now. And I'm not going to help anybody. And that's just the end of it, because they just.
So and if you go to church, you're just supporting the very people that you call devils. So if you go to church, especially if you go to church and you need to the church, you're not. And you have already said that those are people and they are the devils and that they are evil. So if you go to the church and you give money to it, then that's,
that's an excuse. It's like, oh my God,
media stops the religions. So you're telling me that before media,
that doesn't make any sense.
Paganism literally predates Christianity as well. There was no media back then.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. I could talk to you if they're falling apart, but you're not using it.
They're falling apart as we speak. Like,
they're literally unraveling their own conversations.
And it's not that anyone's a bad person. We're just trying to
their memory just stops.
It's not that anyone's a bad person. I don't look at anyone differently. This is just a conversation we're having that happens in the dark that nobody talks about publicly. And when they do, they get, basically shot in the face for doing it. This is just.
I'm just tired of hearing the same time you start to talk about it and you start to unravel it. Like as soon as you start to unravel a little bit, they have to grasp and pull it all back. No, because of this. No, because of that. No, not because of that. And it's
all the atheists that I know will physically get up and cook a meal for somebody. They'll physically stand up and go down the street and work at a soup kitchen. They do physical things now to have a good life because they don't think there's anywhere else afterwards.
Are the atheists stopping anything by being good people? They participate more often in the very things
they make the most
changing. They don't go to church and hide behind God.
Somebody who's quote unquote atheist doesn't believe in anything, not even
God
energy.
Will take care of you.
So they're a type of human that makes the most of the planet and the earth they live on now. Most people that I know that call themselves an atheist are somebody who wants, to stop global warming. They want to cure cancer. They want to do all these things because they want life. They want you to live as long as possible now. They don't want to die at 50 because they don't think there's anything else. They want to make the most of today.
Believe more that there is no God? No. I rarely think about it until I start having the conversation with you, Ott.
It's just somebody who doesn't believe in that in general. Like in general, somebody doesn't believe in that.
To me, nature just flows and it is what it is. It's very simple. It's very relaxed. It's very honestly, I have probably more peace in my life in thinking about the afterlife and death than most religious people who are so worried that, I thought about this, maybe God will punish me. I don't worry about any punishment.
No, me neither.
Is the thing. Whereas other people worry about that punishment. In terms of me doing more than a lot of religious people, I can tell you right now that of the religious people I know, I have been more proactive, I have been more generous, I have been more charitable than any of them, because the only times they've ever been charitable is back within their own church, which to me is just cult mentality.
I've had a lot of time to think on this planet already, and
they're going on missionary missions where they try and go and convert people into their little cult. So and then telling people you'll be punished if you don't give up your culture.
That's the thing, Kat. It's but Robbie, to your point, that's like finding yourself too. You're not finding a God, like you're finding yourself.
Take those to psilocybin, go sit in the forest, and tell me what you believe in.
But that's contradictory to this whole thing too. It's so the key about this is every time a conversation unravels,
they're just going to revert it back to God or to Satan.
Yeah, and that's what sucks, man. It always goes.
You can't have a logical conversation who completely will always say, "But God." That is such a primitive and primordial way of looking at everything. when there's literally scientific fact behind even,
Yeah, exactly, Kat.
you know, I've done plenty of tripping, honey bunny. Yeah, you're tripping right now. So I get it. I get it.
Yeah, it's just
But you're just tripping on a different kind of drug. It's the same kind of drug as, and it's been proven by science as well, that people in a Christian, in a church, and blah, 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 they have this, it's almost like the same addiction as a gambler, as a drug addict that they get in their brain with the opiates that fire off because they need it. They need something. So,
people get the same high off of thinking about God as they do about eating a slice of cheese. The brain does the
yeah,
same thing. And that's
yeah.
just proven. So it's just people need what they need.
I've never seen
It
a
gets them
pagan
through the
try to
day.
convert people to paganism. I've never seen a pagan try to convert another person to paganism. First of
Never.
all, not once. And that's coming from a person whose family history is rooted in paganism.
They don't need the they don't need
I'll learn you some stuff. I don't think so, Robbie, honey. Nah.
they don't I don't
I
need
wouldn't. I honestly,
I'm
with the
not
shit
trying to
that you're saying,
convert.
it's not. You're not even trying right now. You're not even trying to have a conversation with us and looking at our side of things. All you are
No.
saying, because
It's
I've
one-sided.
gone there. I've gone through the Bible several times myself. I was raised with people in my family who are severely religious to the point that when I picked up a pen with my left hand to write, when I first started learning how to write, they slapped it and told me to sit on it because I had to use my right hand because the left hand was the hand of Satan. That bad. And guess what I learned through all of the things that I read through? Be a good person. That's it. That's all I ever took from it. But when it comes down to believing in this, all of the stories and the prophets that they say that there are and everything, and the disciples of Christ and whatnot, it's all hearsay. And we could all do the exact same thing right now. I could write down, you could be the Satan in my Bible. I could write a Bible right now. You could be my Satan because you're my opposing point of view. Do you understand? That's
And
how
in
religion works.
100 years somebody's going to believe you.
And in 100 or in 1,000 years, somebody will pick that up and be like, oh God, oh, this Robbie, oh no. If I wanted to, because it's an opposing viewpoint. And I get the idea behind religion, but that's the thing, is that people have taken it and to root it back to our original topic of control, they've derived everything and misinterpreted everything and changed things to manipulate how people believe and how it is
What's up,
used.
Sunflower?
And it is no longer a simple, I personally think if Jesus Christ was a real man, that he was a cool dude. I
Mm-hmm.
do. And if you wanted to, you if being a Christian means to follow the path of Christ, of Jesus himself, then I would be considered, in that sense, more Christian than a lot of people that I know. Because I definitely live closer to the life that Jesus wanted for people, as opposed to what others are putting out there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But once again, that's just being a good person.
And they've changed the Bible 100 times, depending on who got their hand on it
So
and in
many.
what year they got their hand on it.
So
And
many.
I like the guy that's online right now that has one of the originals, and he's trying to scan it so that everyone can see it.
Yeah.
He's
And
trying
also,
to get
that's true to
everyone to see
Salty's
it.
point of view.
Yeah.
Salty's point of view. How many Christians are out there that are and and go back to their Christian God on a Sunday and get saved and protected and oh, we'll take care of him. Don't worry. He's going through a therapy right now with us, and we're gonna let him back into the arms of Christ and shit. Like,
Why is there a born again of religions? Like, why is, it's like
yeah,
you shouldn't be allowed in. It like you shouldn't be able to get back in. So that's the thing. Like, I will
yeah,
never I this is my stance, this is my point of view, that's your stance, and that's your point of view. I'm not going down to your
hmm,
path, and you don't have to come down mine. I'm just initiating conversation and giving you a different viewpoint. You're giving me a different viewpoint, and at the end of the day, we're both the same people, and we're going to walk our own paths. That's just how
yep.
it is. But I
But
believe in this
and
one
I
thing that
know
I
that
believe in, and you believe in yours.
And I know that there's no point in having this conversation with diehards like yourselves who won't even question outside of the realm of what you currently believe, because I wouldn't be able to do it with anyone from, who studies and reads
But Robbie, that's such a
the
cop
Quran
out.
or
That's such a cop
who.
out, though.
Yeah, it is a cop out because they claim to be Christians. That's
What?
the
So
point,
why
Robbie.
can't
They claim to be Christians.
why can't they be Christians and do bad things?
Yeah.
Because Christians don't do bad things. Like, why can't? Then there's only like 10 real Christians on the whole planet.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I got a stainless steel wok that is normally like
Ash, I love that for you. Praise
people
God.
have a hardcore misunderstanding about it, and a lot of that comes from Christians, which is why people like now have a right to ask out loud why they should believe in any of them. Well, Salty, that's a point too. The Catholic Church itself, I'm going to a different. The Catholic Church has come out and said that they're losing, that they have lost so much attendance at their churches that they almost have a third, if not a fourth, of the original group that used to go to them still
Maybe
going.
if they took off their red shoes.
They've lost almost all of their people. But again, Robbie's going to say that, well, they're not real Catholics.
But they're not real Christians. Okay.
Robbie, but
you're
you get
leaders. If
Robbie,
you're
you
a
get the
Christian,
point why
then
we
that's
can't,
your leader.
like, you can't keep saying that this person's not a thing when they believe in their heart that they're a thing just because they do a
That they are
bad
that
thing.
thing.
They can't just not be a thing. Like,
yeah.
But Camaro, that's the point. Like, it's all bad. Like, the rules you follow, like Salty's Christian version is probably his way and his rules that is making him a better person moving forward because it's what he's following. So, I mean, everything's been taken. Everything is.
If you
bad.
believe in
Everything
the Bible, if
right
you're
now.
a Christian and you believe in the Bible, you either believe all of it or you believe none of it.
You
about the Bible. You can't pick and choose.
And when you say
Like
pick,
for
you pick and
me,
choose, you've
you're
already
saying like
lost.
atheists think harder to be like to not believe in God. It's very simple for me. I believe that there is nothing but energy, and it's so simple to me. And it's very simple, and this is exactly what I believe. But if you're going to be a Christian, you're going to have to pick up that Christian Bible and be like from front cover to end cover. I believe in everything that this has to say, all of the craziness, all of the hypocrisies, all of it. I believe in every single word that this book that we are as Christians supposed to follow. That's just what I believe.
But you don't.
No, it's okay to say that you are not a Christian, but that you believe in the word of Jesus and what he taught. That's cool because so do I. So does Cosmo for the most part. Like we just cool. Be a cool person. Don't be a dick. Like Kat said, period. You know?
Did she say that somewhere?
To be a Christian, yes, she did. to be a Christian, you need to believe in that entire thing, or you don't.
That's the thing that will forever bother me. The
men think that they are women, are they? No. They're not. Scientifically, logically, they're not.
No. The whole thing that at the end of this
biologically, no.
Forever bothers me is everyone who was either not religious is religious, but is at
but
some
I believe
point,
everyone has the right to do what they want. Is the difference.
Yes. That he
if a man wants to be a woman and believe that he's a woman, cool. I have trans friends in my life. I have people who've gone through sex changes, everything. Love them to death. Beautiful people. Once again, they've never tried to convert me to do the same. Not once. Not once.
But what makes them not Christian? Like, what makes you Christian, but them not Christian?
So, Robbie, you don't make any mistakes. You don't have any impure thoughts whatsoever. You've never made a mistake in your life. You've never done drugs because you said already that
exactly, Salty. That's why
you have tripped plenty in your life. So now that you're Christian and you're born again, so now that doesn't matter, right? So it's the same thing with them. If they go to church and then go to church on Sunday and say like, "Oh, please forgive me," blah blah blah, and they're like, "Okay, you're absolved of your sins," then they're Christian again. You wouldn't claim to be Christian, then what are you arguing? Then what are you arguing right now? Like, I want to know, what are you arguing right now? I wouldn't claim to be Christian. Okay, so why are you arguing right now in favor of Christianity?
We've devolved off of the religions here, if you notice, and it's gone to the cop out of free will again, and the picking
Yes.
and choosing of what makes you feel the way you feel about a certain religion without calling yourself part of that religion. So this is again the degrading, like the breaking down of the stance. Going,
Fill this chick in. This chick, the one that's like in the podcast right now, that God exists. Okay, God exists. Cool. But you've been arguing the point of Christianity for the last hour with us, and now suddenly you're saying you're not
yeah.
Christian.
So to
So I'm
Salty's
thinking
point,
that
he keeps
maybe,
it
I don't know
private.
if you have some sort of like health history that's interfering with your ability to properly like construct your arguments or what. But free will is responsibility. It sure as hell is. Yeah. Yeah. I believe that, but that doesn't mean I'm Christian.
God keeps coming in half of this and then being taken out again and then brought
And then
back in
disintegrates into
and then taken back in and then taken out and then taken back in. Like, that's the thing that bothers me. It's I mean, also to I know this is an argument here, but also to Robbie's point, I have to say that last line he just said there is very important. He's still learning his way. So he feels very strongly about something right now.
Yeah.
But he may not feel the same way 2 months from now because he's still figuring it out. So
he's still figuring it out, but
we
he's
may be
also
having
saying
a totally different conversation in 2 months.
He's still saying that, like, I mean, he used drugs and stuff before. He's done lots of tripping in his life, but now he's Christian. So that means that he is now
That
a
absolves
Christian
him of everything
and absolves him of all the sins before. But my point is, so
Growing is
do
good,
those
Kat.
very people. Those are those very people in the Vatican who have. They go to church on Sunday and they're absolved of it now too. But you're saying they say they're Christian, but they're not. So what makes you Christian? Even though, like, based on that logic, you're not. Thoughts?
No matter what you say, if it's bad, it's going to be the devil. If it's good, it's going to be God.
Good, it's going to be God.
If it's
and
not,
and it applies to me, but not to them. My logic applies to me, but it doesn't apply to them.
Not to them. What they do does not have any feeling towards me. If they say they're Christian, but they do something I don't agree with, I don't think they're Christian anymore. But if
they're not
something
Christian.
I don't agree with is Christian, I'm no longer Christian. I'm something else. I don't know what I am, but it's not Christian, but it's not them because they're not Christian, but they said they're Christian, but they can't be Christian because they did a thing that made them not Christian, but then the God is the thing and the Satan did the thing, so maybe they're not Christian because it's Satan.
And exactly our point again. I wouldn't claim to be Christian, but I'm trying. Okay.
We're just going to go on this loop forever because there's no accountability. There's no accountability in religion ever. What's up, Court? I'll be playing Fortnite with you soon.
It's passed off to it's God's will.
Continuous circle.
It's God's will in a realm owned by the devil.
It's a circle of excuses after excuses after excuses. That is just whenever somebody proves your point wrong, whenever someone proves someone who's religious wrong, then they have an excuse about something. And then when that's proven wrong, there's another excuse about something. There has never been in the history of communicating with someone who is just so knee deep in this shit, ever have you gotten to a resolved conversation whatsoever that didn't end with an open-ended sentence of it's a god or a devil or there is never a proven ending because there's no proven anything. It's always finished with another question. It never gets to a resolution. And that's why I can't get religious. I can't be a part of a religion, and that's my personal argument and complicated fight that I've had with this my entire life. And that's because I'm someone who likes problems to be solved. I'm someone who likes conversations to have an ending. I'm someone who likes to get to something that I can understand, that I can put my foot down and be like, that makes sense. I like things to have a stopping point. Religion and conversations, they don't have that. And we just proved that today. I like science. We just proved that today, where there's always that same never ending loop of continuous speech. It's like a Minaj song where she repeats the same line 7,000 times, but somehow that just made her $10 billion.
Yeah.
You're repeating the same loop. And that is my beef.
Fair
That's
as well.
my beef with it.
We're not judging anyone for believing what they are. I think that people who know me and Cosmo know that we don't judge. Like I've already said, I've gone to Catholic.
This is me, you know?
Yeah. Like I'm passionate for sure, but I don't judge. Like I said, I have friends who are Catholic. I have friends who are Jewish. I have friends who are Muslim. I don't care. They're good people. They've never pushed themselves on me. When they start pushing shit on me or judging me for my sinful acts, and I'm like, whoa, 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 you're judging me. That's against your religion. That's up to your God to decide, right? I'm not judging anyone's lifestyle. Nobody is born perfect. Everyone has their own growth and their own journey. I believe that we are all reflections of each other, and to judge someone else would be to judge myself. And believe me, I do judge myself quite often and some of my questionable choices. But that's how I learn and grow. But when I'm looking at other people, I see them as reflections of myself, and I have zero ego about that. I'm not judging Robbie.
When I meet someone,
let me put it to you this way. I think, I'm going to be honest, I think that if you believe in a religion like Christianity and stuff like that, that you are stupid. I believe that, but I also believe that someone who keeps putting their arm in a wood chipper is also stupid. But that's just my thoughts. That's my personal belief on it. It's not a judgment. It's just, if I see something that's doing nothing but hurt people as opposed to pushing them forward, it seems a little debilitating. I see religion as a debilitation. I wonder where we would be if religion would allow people to move forward, or like move forward in the way that science does. You know what I mean?
So
But we can have an open conversation about it. Like, you think that we're the stupid ones.
What's up,
right?
Burrito?
And you were saying that we were going to get learned.
So that's
Why?
right there, right? So no, that's what's up, Ivy? That's my beef with religion. Okay, what you just said right there. I'm feeling my type of way about how I feel. My life lessons, my life experiences, my upbringing, whatever you want to say, the way my soul, my body, whatever you want to call it, learned to be on this planet is the way that we are communicating right now. Me, you, this is my, and I want everyone in chat who's religious to hear this right now and understand my take on this in this conversation that we're having. This is me. This is my learned life experiences brought me to this point right here of how I think and how I process information and how I feel the planet is run. Whether I believe in this or that, it means nothing. It doesn't matter. This is me. This is how I came to be. Robbie has his way.
Yeah.
He came to be a certain way. He believes in what he believes in. He feels the way he feels. He's seen what he's seen. He's felt the way he's felt. And it's brought him to this point.
Salty. Thank you. Thank you, Salty. It's not a judgment.
Y2 was brought up the way he was brought up. He has his memories. He has his experiences. He has his way. And I'm going to go hard here. He has his way of learning. He went through his stuff. I did not step in his shoes. I did not step in Robbie's shoes. I didn't step in Camp Camaro's shoes. I didn't go through what Salty went through in life. I did not experience the family and the friends. Or
addicts who then do the 12-step program and find Christ.
I did not go through any of that. I went through my own stuff. I had my own battles. I had my own things where I had to deal with it myself. That brought me to a certain point in life. And that's the way it was. That's where my life and my brain and everything went.
Mm-hmm.
I will never, ever, ever, I'm trying to like read and
The
listen at the same
conversation
time,
thoughts. Sorry.
ever tell any person in here right now how to live their life. I will never and haven't. I've just told you what I feel and how I feel about things, but I will
Yeah.
never, ever to your face tell you I need you to do this thing.
Yeah.
I will never tell you that I need you to believe this way I believe. I'm just going to tell you how I feel about things and my thoughts on it, but I will never tell you what I need you to do. You don't need to do anything for me. You don't need to believe
And
anything for me. You don't need to pray for me. You don't need to do anything
why I
for
don't
me.
agree with someone's argument,
I'm
for example,
good.
when it's a lazy loop around.
I'm good. My problem with everyone I've ever helped anyone I've ever communicated with about religion is we can't have a conversation unless at the end of the conversation I'm in their religion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not allowed to think the way that I think. I'm not allowed to feel the way that I feel
Yeah.
unless around somebody like that, unless I'm ending that conversation with me agreeing with them and being now converted to whatever they are. And that has
Yep.
been my experience with people in religions from the beginning in my life, not
Yeah.
online. Like I was never online. It was always in person shit that I was dealing with this. And I never initiated these conversations. It was always people who found out I wasn't religious and they took it upon themselves to have to
They
start this
censor it.
conversation with me,
Yeah.
even though I didn't bring it up. I just wanted to play football or shoot a basketball or something. And all of a sudden we're having this like Bible study in the middle of a basketball court. And I'm like, what just happened? How did we even get here? And it's like, well, you're not
Yeah.
religious, so I need to explain to you so I can save your soul and get you to this point. And I'm like, you don't have to save my anything, dude. I don't want you to save anything. Like, let's just play basketball and go eat some McDonald's or some shit. Like, what do you mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be what you are, but I'm happy for you to be whatever you want to be. Cause that's the free will thing that everyone brought up. Like, I don't need, and that's my ending kind of takeaway to this is that I still love everybody.
Yeah.
I still care about everybody. I still think everyone is a great person at the end of the day, but we don't have to feel the same way. And I think that's human nature, but don't make me have to be what you are. I'm me for me. I'm me for my reasons.
I've
I don't want
definitely
to be
gone
what
through
you
the
are.
rigmarole of religions. I've definitely studied enough of them to the point that I had even considered being Buddhist one time, because at one
Yeah.
point that kind of aligned with me.
What's up,
But then I'm
Wolf?
like, why
What's up,
do?
Barla?
But then I
Barb,
thought to
hello.
myself, and this is the point that I'll make.
Sorry,
I
Barb, I
made the
missed you up
point
there. How are
myself to
you? What's
say,
going on, Wheels? How you
why
doing,
can't
man?
I believe all of those things
What's
without
up, Wolf?
committing myself to one thing? Why can't I just be a spiritual person that does not align with any church or deity? Why can't I just be someone who's allowed to question? Because questioning is how we learn. And I know Robbie keeps saying, I'm learning, and he wants us to get learned. I'm learning because I am allowed to question everything. I'm allowed to question the stuff that you guys were saying, and I'm allowed to ask you the hard questions that you still were unable to give me a good answer for, because it just looped around to the same, like, it's
Simple
God or
pimple.
Satan, God or Satan. Like,
Dude, Salty,
to
I didn't
me,
even know you were religious until you said something right now. You have never brought that up once.
I never would have thought Salty
I
was
thought you wanted to
religious, to be
like
honest with you.
I thought you wanted to put like a ball and chain on a baby cherub and slap its ass or something. I never knew you were religious, so never knew.
But like,
You've never brought it up.
but
No, but Robbie, that's my point. Like that was sorry,
yeah.
Kat.
No,
I'll
I was just
surf
going to
over
say,
to
to
my
finish
bubble.
up my thoughts on it, is that I have questioned, and I think that the point of being, um, like, I would never convert anyone to being what I am, because I don't think you can change
Yeah.
anybody to be anything that you want them to be anyway. I think that's a really um, manipulative thing to do. And I think it's an unhealthy and a toxic thing to do, is try to manipulate someone to only see your point of view, because I feel like that in itself is limiting and loops back to what we said in the beginning, where religion is nothing but a tool to control the masses, because it limits people's ability to question, because it states that you should never question God, And I'm like, but I would like to, and I'd like to find out my own path. And in doing so, I have realized that most religions have things in common, and I don't want to belong to any particular one or two. You know, I would like to just be who I am, be a good person, be kind. And if I could snap my fingers and abolish all religion, I would do it in a heartbeat, because you know what wouldn't change? Science. The fact that people are still people, that people are still going to do what they want to do, that whether they are pagan, Christian, Muslim, whatever, are still going to be serial. It's still going to
Yeah,
maintain
Ash,
that
exactly.
truth. And I would like to believe in truth and the truth of the matter. And that is that all of us are people,
No, why too? You
despite
were asking good
what we believe.
questions. You were
Despite
sorry, Kat. You were
No, go ahead.
they're kind of talking to what you're saying. So so the thing is, like, Robbie's coming into it, you're coming out of it. So you guys are kind of at this middle area where the friction's going to happen right now, because, you know, you have different views. And the other thing that's on the side, the thing, like Y2 said, Y2, we are not I'm telling you right now, none of this is fun. This is good conversation. This isn't me. I'm not angry at all. I've not been angry this whole time. You asked the right questions, because if there's ever a moment, if there's ever a moment that I feel like, oh shit, he might be right, I will flip it to you in a heartbeat. I just feel so strongly about my side that it's different.
I'm just going to do little snaps for what Barbarella said. Jesus was also against religion and the government. He flipped tables at the market because they were selling things and trinkets in the name of God, and he didn't agree with that, and he flipped tables, and that's in the Bible. Your own savior didn't like the Bible.
No, Y2, you're fine, dude. It didn't fall apart. I have had friends who find out I don't believe in God, and they have me a new. Yeah, so Ash, that's what I don't like. But that's also what Robbie's saying, and I'm just going to leave it at that, where those aren't the people, you know, those aren't religious people. That's where we have the argument of, but why not? You know, I'm not going to go back there, but that's where the circle went. People mix up religion, faith, and belief. Those three aren't exactly the same, and it shows in day-to-day life. Yeah, no, they're picking their narrative that works best for them. I'm going to have to change this podcast to The Secrets of Antarctica and God. Spiritual is how I describe it, because religion has been used to control over people. Yeah. But I do believe in God and Jesus. And when you read the Bible, Jesus was also against religion and government. Yeah. Because he didn't want people to be controlled. He was the good person. He tells you to love everyone regardless of the belief. Yeah. So exactly, Barb. That's what I feel too. I expressed a few times in here that I do believe Jesus was real. And I do believe he was. Chat moved on me. Agreed. Chat moved on me. And I do believe that he was somebody who wanted the best out of people. If there was good and bad, the government at the time when he was alive was bad and he was good. And he got taken out because he was against the narrative of the control that they were trying to have over the people, because he wanted people to live a healthy, happy life. I am your Jesus now. I got kicked out of Catholic school church when I was 12 because I was trying to stop my sister and her friend from stealing the donated school supplies. She said I was banned and kicked out. Jesus Christ. My Lord and Savior. I'm just kidding. I can help it. The people that run the world told I don't know, Robbie. Like, I can't tell you about that. They're hungry. They're hungry and I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
You need to go to our YouTube channel for our first episode.
Sometimes billionaires do things that billionaires do because they're just. That's what I believe. I don't think it has anything to do with religion. I think those people are just psychopaths that have a lot of money. Like, if you give a serial $1 billion, they're gonna create a human farm and start eating toes. Like, some weird shit's gonna happen. I think the only thing saving us from Armageddon is that the serial aren't rich, and they're usually poor. You know, imagine somebody with the mental capabilities to kill people like that having
Ed
$10 billion in their pocket.
Imagine how many masks he would have.
Yeah, salty, exactly. But that's the thing. Money and power go hand in hand. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Money and power go hand in hand. So it just seriously take some of the scariest murderers in history. Most of them were living out of motels in the back of their cars. Give them $1 billion, let them run free for a little while and see what their world looks like. It would probably be pretty close to eating adults. I mean, honestly.
It's very naive of people to think that the people who are in charge don't have mental illnesses too.
Oh, they definitely do. 100%. He shoved a
100%.
rock.
It's naive to think so.
He shoved a rock in the emergency door and went to the church when they thought no one was inside, but I followed because, oh, wait, they legit broke into a church. She was a year younger. I've seen one car in the parking lot, and I tried to drag her outside when I found they got in. Oh, so they like legit. Oh, my God, salty.
I was about to be appalled, and then I was like, oh, she drank your daycare. Got you.
Oh, my God.
And you know what? It's proven to keep women looking younger.
Oh, boy. Yep. If anyone knows how to end a conversation, it's Salty for sure.
It's salty.
Boy. Can't wait to see my KPP after this one. Robbie, I think they're all psychopaths, dude. Honestly.
See?
I think they're all crazy, man. The power protein. I think they're all crazy people with money. I told Kat the other day, I will never be rich and on an A-list of any kind because I am not someone who can do the obscene nonsense that these people can get away with. I don't have the moral standing.
They wouldn't like me.
I will never be rich because I can't do the dumb shit that they want you to do. It's
actually
salty.
Come to think of it, Woody Harrelson's been a vegan since the 80s, and he's not in the Epstein files, so that tracks.
Ash says, you know what else is in the Bible? No sex before marriage or cheating. No wearing mixed fabrics. This is a gray area, but no tattoos.
I have a knot in my shoulder.
I know, Ash.
Can someone pray for me and get this knot out of my shoulder?
They are religious. Let's do a symbology episode. I mean, yes, they are quote unquote religious, but they're not religious. Like they're using it for the control factor, but them themselves are being controlled as well.
That's the point, Robbie, is that they're using it as a tool of control, but that's not what they believe themselves. That's why I did the whole boogeyman scenario thing, you know, where parents don't believe in the boogeyman, but they use it to control their kids to make them behave.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just read that as Ash said she was going to rub one out. Did you read that too? Did you see it as that? I saw it as that too.
That's why I had to look at it again.
I was rub like, one out for you with the little winky eyes, and it's not. Yeah. It's the opposite. Oh God. Damn.
Sorry, Ash.
I read it.
We blame Salty for that because he put us on a weird wavelength.
I can't believe you read one. You read it the same way as I did, though. That's actually
yeah. That's why I kind of looked at it. Was reading it like again. It's Salty's fault.
My sister got caught stealing at Target with him not long after and had to take classes for theft. I was salty at the church for not letting me explain.
Oh, she meant she'll rub my shoulder for me. Oh, I love you, Ash. Yes, please.
I mean, for an extra $20.
$19.99.
Blasphemy. I then looked into all the other gods and religions like Egyptian and Norse gods. Honestly, like in when it comes to like the cool sounding gods and religions, like the Egyptian stuff and the Norse gods, they just sound badass.
They really do.
That kind of stuff just sounds cool. Bro, I'm gonna be 30 soon. I get tired. Dude, we all get tired. We're all feeling it. But why too? Seriously, from earlier though, don't feel bad, dude. I actually really enjoyed those questions. Like even Robbie even tickled my brain, dude. Like I'm not arguing with Robbie at all. I'm just saying like Robbie has a very strong stance with what he believes in, and you need people like that to make everyone balanced. Like, I hate to say it, but like, you need balance in life. So you need those, you know, I feel strongly about what I feel strongly in, and he feels strongly about what he feels strongly in. And that's just, it's just life.
Yeah.
Wolf,
so
I
Antarctica.
Like my mind in the gutter. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Back to Antarctica. Oh my God. Court, are you still here?
What are your final theories and thoughts on it?
All right. So my final kind of ending, now that everyone's here, now that everyone for the afternoon. My final thoughts and theories on the Antarctica deal is that we are dealing with a very old surviving race of humans. And I think that there is a quote unquote ice god to God. Get out of here. I think there is a very old quote unquote bunker style situation going on there that was found, kind of like the Fallout situation. Maybe it had a big door on it or something. Who knows? But someone found it, opened it, found this civilization in there, and realized that there's a whole ecosystem down there. And they then started learning from them, technology, all that fun stuff. But I think it was a bunker that humans survived their own downfall a long time ago. And now we are the new humans here, and we're not allowed to go there. And the reason is because, one, they're gatekeeping the shit out of it. Could be reason one, or reason two. Yeah, Camaro, probably. Seriously, probably. Or reason two is because they actually can't come here. Because something in our atmosphere was something they caused that they're not immune to, that will. So they have to stay where they are. It's kind of like what's happening right now with like Chernobyl and everything with the radiation poisoning. There's animals and plants and mushrooms and stuff that have evolved over the years to have immunity to radiation because their parents,
they're highly radiated, but they're not dying from it.
But they're not dying from it because they have an immunity to it now. Too much like Predator. That'd be cool though. They have an immunity to it now.
Like a lot of the dogs that are there too.
So, but we die from it. So imagine something like, we didn't know what radiation was at first, right? So imagine something on this planet that we see every day as normal. Like it could be, you know, the cold, or like some type of bacteria, or, you know, something stupid to us, but to them was doomsday. And they still don't have an immunity to it, so it's still doomsday. But to us, that would be like nuclear weapons, like radiation. That would kill us. But maybe the next people that come after us, when our little humans start coming out of the bunkers, they are immune to radiation, because we've seen that's a thing that's happened with animals and plants and stuff over there, that they're now immune to it. They're still covered in it, but they don't die from it. So you know, that could be a very interesting take on it. That's what I want. I want that to be a thing, because I want there to be a fantastical thing happening down there. I don't want it to be boring and it's just like penguins pooping in dirt and snow, you know?
I've seen these like after I read about the Anita project.
I'm too stoned, I can't throw down in this convo.
After I read about the neutrinos and
I am reading your chat, guys, while I'm listening.
And the way that it's passing through, and I know someone said earlier, is like, oh, well, maybe it's like just bouncing off the ice. They've already looked at that. It's not just bouncing off the ice. It's coming from under the ice. It's coming from a source under the ice where they're detecting neutrinos are actually spouting out through this, but it's not on the north. It's not going through the planet. It's coming from within it somehow. I think that the idea that there might be a civilization and that they have some sort of wormhole there. Who knows? Who knows? But I feel like we need to start getting donations and a sub goal to go to Antarctica. And I'll wear my little white parka, and we will be camouflaged. And I'm already pale as shit, so they'll just already think that I'm some sort of cryptid.
Camaro has a point. No, Camaro, you're completely right. One side is not snow at all. And even the streamers were able to go there. The ones that just went to Antarctica, they were able to go there. It's like there's grass, it's like, I don't know if there's trees. There was grass, there was like plant life, and it was completely dry. There was no snow or anything, and it was warm. I think it was in like the 60s or something.
Yeah, it's not like on the other part of it. But they also say that within like Antarctica, there is constant volcanic
Y2, that'd be badass,
activity
dude.
under and under Antarctica as well, where they found that new crab species even, and a lot of new species that they're finding are actually around Antarctica and particularly in under it. And this crab species, which I need to write them because I don't think it's actually a
Yeah,
crab. I do believe that it's
Ivy,
actually a lobster. It has
that would be really
the
that's
appearance more so of the
that's really
lobster and the
cool.
attributes more of a lobster. So I'm actually going to write these biologists and tell them a thing or two. Um, but I do think it's
Oh
interesting
my
that
god.
these
Cat's
new
yelling at
species
crab
are.
scientists now.
Yeah, I
Nobody's
am because it's
safe.
not a crab; it's a lobster.
Nobody's
And
safe.
but um, but yeah, there's a lot of new species coming out of Antarctica as well that they and new geothermal things that they haven't found before. And when you look at images that NASA produce, like I said, they have that whole like they have mountain peaks and everything like that, and this one particular valley that goes down, and then it has like this sort of like pyramid thing inside of it, and it's on the warmer side of Antarctica where people can't go to. So it's like, what's there? What is it?
So we got lobster conversation. Ivy's talking about aliens. Camaro really liked your accent. Ash is just yelling into the ether right now in Canadian. Not really sure what's going on there. She's just angry. And then
That's a New England
I
thing.
think Wolf is picking his nose. She's rioting now. But yeah, guys, bottom line with this whole thing, started off with the Antarctic conversation, got into the advanced civilization. The advanced civilization moved into the talk of God because somebody asked how we got into it, because we said that would challenge the theory of religion and God if there was an advanced civilization that was discovered, because that would change everything, because maybe they have their own take on things, or maybe they'll tell us, oh, we created that. Like there's that whole conversation behind it. So that's how we got into that. Because if there was some type of bunkered up human race from 1 billion years ago in Antarctica and we were getting technology from them and everything, they'd want to keep it
Yeah.
secret because it would manipulate the entire planet into thinking one way versus the 15 different ways that the governments and people are using to control them right now. So that's where we got into that, and that whole conversation happened because it all divulges into that. It all comes into that. Why would the governments of the world want to hide something like this if it was so amazing? And that's just bottom line. It was just control.
Why is
And
it
that's
and why
how
is
we
it the
got there.
only place? Why is it the only place that we can't get to?
That's how we got there.
You can even go to Yemen if you wanted to. You could go to Yemen and you can go through the mountains there, and they'll say, no, you shouldn't do that because there are, rebels in the mountains that will. But
Yeah.
like, you
Camaro's
can
point is
go.
like
We're
it
not
would
going to
melt
stop
people's
you.
brains if like we discover, like, Camaro, if somebody like that was blue colored came over from a wall on the other side of an ice thing in Antarctica and flew over and landed in front of you and said, bro, what's good? What are we eating for dinner tonight? Your brain would melt because you've just been one
And
way,
Ash would say
right? So yeah, I
pizza.
totally get it. I totally get it. I totally
Ash,
believe
what
in
are you
advanced
getting on your pizza?
civilizations. Heck, some of them just poofed suddenly and left structures behind. Yeah, like some of them just disappeared, and that's where like the ancient alien theorists came out. They started believing in certain things and talking about portals and wormholes and things like that because entire people just disappeared. But again, they were like, they tried to debunk
Yeah.
it. They were like, are there plagues? Did they die? But they couldn't find bones. So it's just like it was this whole thing.
I think it's funny that there's a treaty over Antarctica that is peaceful and coexistent, but they're fighting over the North Pole.
Mm-hmm. But why too?
Isn't
That
that
doesn't
isn't
let
that
normal.
funny?
But that's to your point, Kat. Like the treaty is there, but it's not it's not a treaty of public. It's a governmental treaty. Public still can't go to those
No, no, no.
places.
What I mean is that they have a treaty, like it's like a peace treaty, basically over Antarctica, but they don't have
South
that for
Pole,
the
yeah.
North. Like the North, everybody's
Well, the
fighting
north
over
of
who owns
Antarctica
what, and
is what she means.
the North Pole is what I mean. So Antarctica, South Pole, guys, down here,
Oh, you're
they have
talking
a
about
treaty.
up.
Yes, I'm talking about. Okay, let me
Sorry,
finish.
that's why we all get
Antarctica.
confused.
Antarctica. They have a treaty, right? That all these countries all have stations there. North Pole, they're so concerned about military occupation and stuff like that. The US wanted Canada to increase the military, blah, 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 for like fear and whatnot. They
Yeah,
don't
Camaro, I
have
was
that in
confused too.
Antarctica.
I was confused too.
Antarctica down here, they're like, we'll all work together here for some reason. Now,
Kumbaya.
is it because there's a society down there that is telling them, listen, we'll blow away if you guys don't get along? Like, this is our spot on the earth. Like, you can
Mm.
come down here and talk with us and treat with us, but like when it comes to territory, it's ours, and that you guys can all commune here, but there will be no fighting. But up in north, they're like, oh no, this belongs to us, and this island is ours, and this is Denmark, and this is Russia, and this is Canada, and this is US. Like,
Hmm.
why don't they have the same type of treaty for the north if it's important for research?
The whole thing doesn't make sense.
It
On
doesn't make
paper.
sense.
On paper, it doesn't make sense. Like, to Robbie's
On
point
paper,
earlier, the government, presence there was terrible. It didn't make sense. The researcher being used to follow, like, if you were doing, if you were doing government, like, training down there for, like we had said, for certain, like, landscapes and stuff, it wouldn't make sense to have the researcher that,
well, you're wrong.
whatever, because the North Pole
There,
has no what?
the North Pole is literally in the middle of the ocean, so technically you're correct. However, it does have many, many islands around it.
There's
There's
land under
Resolute
it.
Bay. What?
There's not.
Well, yeah, I mean
No, no,
it's
no. What I
ocean,
mean,
but
there's not as much
what?
land as Antarctica. There's like you said, there's
No,
islands.
no.
It's
The
speckled.
specific point of the North Pole is actually in the ocean. There's
Oh
islands
yeah, yeah,
around it,
yeah,
but the
yeah.
actual point of it is like it would be in the ocean. Like you can't just go there and be like, I unless it's frozen over if it's wintertime. But there's so many other lands and everything around it. Like I lived up there. Like my parents
Yeah,
lived,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it was like 300 and something kilometers away from the literal North Pole. So yeah.
They definitely hiding shit. No, that's what I mean. That's why we're trying to trigger that mindset to make you think about it a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's why we got segued over to the control factor and got into the religious talk and all of those things and everyone's beliefs and things. And the whole point of that,
Yeah.
and it's actually funny, it's like I kind of proved my point where it divides everyone, right? We had a very quick 1
Yeah.
hour conversation about this and everyone was on a different page. That's what they want. You
And
know what I
it
mean?
goes back to my
So,
example of if you take 100 people, put them in 10 different groups, tell them one fact, and tell them that everyone else is wrong, they're all going to fight each other.
but how easy was that to trigger and change and
Kind
anger
of
and make people
exactly,
do?
kind of proved my point actually.
It was the drop of a pin. And
Yep.
that is how sensitive these topics are. And that's how easy it is to make the general populace lose their shit and
Fight
completely
over an
forget about
imaginary
the
thing.
big boy stuff that's happening in front of us
Yep.
and make us go a different path. And that's the scary part about this is
We can only hope,
oh my
Ivy.
God,
We can only
Eliza.
hope.
That's the scary part about this is it's so easy to manipulate humans and our tiny little brains when it comes to these
Yep.
things. And I am talking into my fake mic right now because I'm making a point. Is it's very, very
Where's
easy
my mic?
to piss off a human being and make them lose their shit and not think straight. And that is what is happening right now in all levels of conspiracy and conversations. What's up, Eliza? But that being said, that's what I think. That's what I think is in Antarctica. I really do. I think they found something down there that was advanced. It wasn't anything that they thought of. It's probably leftover technology from a previous race of humans that died out because they did something stupid, and they're defending and protecting it with their lives. Whether it's living, breathing versions of people, or it is something that they found, like a base or something with skeletons in it, but they found things they don't understand and they're reverse engineering it. I don't think it's aliens. Maybe it was at one point that came to Earth because it had cool resources and a nice little vacation destination. But I don't
Yeah.
think that it is from off this planet as in like a week ago, maybe like 10 billion years ago. But it also blew somebody's mind. And then the government had to move in and be like, we need this shit now. Before Dora the Explorer shows up and fucking throws some shit in her backpack and we never see it again. I'm freaking angry right now. You don't even know. Okay. Yeah. I could poop. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Ash, what did you get on your pizza?
Oh, she got pizza? Okay.
I assume so, unless she just ordered a child.
They just discovered. He didn't read my whole message. What whole message? I'm freaking angry right
You gotta
now.
poop your
You
pants.
don't even know. I'm so angry I could poop. I think Dan should poop his pants on behalf of my anginess. No. Hard pass, ban. Get out. They just discovered under the ice things that they had no idea existed or could live under it, even an ecosystem they didn't know. Yeah, they found bacteria. They found worms that were like 1 billion years old that started moving again.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, we don't need that disease right now.
And they weren't small. They weren't small worms. They were huge. They were big worms.
You're a worm? No,
Big
Ivy's
worms.
like, ice breaks off. Oh, look, living things. Let's touch them. It's like all the people going up to the North Pole and stuff, and they're just drinking glacial water without thinking. They're just putting a cup in the basin and drinking it because they're like, oh, it's so fresh. It's like, oh, but that might have a bacteria.
Really big worms too, Ivy. Big worms.
No, you're a
and
worm.
they were just like, these are ancient, and they're starting to like wake up and move and consume each other. They start eating each other, and they're obviously, carnivorous worms, and everyone was like, put it back.
Yeah, because they're like unearthing this crazy shit that existed so long ago that we don't have immunities to it. Like, we don't have our body can't handle the things that are coming out.
And a lot of stuff.
If I remember right, they found a fish. Dude, they need to like calm down right now. The fact that they're trying to clone dinosaurs, they're finding prehistoric fish, they're doing all this stuff. Like, dude, what? Grok 5 was stripped of filters, but science, math, and logic. The question was, what is the probability of nothing becoming something like the Big Bang? 10 to the power of 200. Then was asked to go from simple cell to mutations in species, 10 to the power of 600. See, I suck at math, so I don't really know what that means. Probably big numbers, I'm guessing.
That's a very big number. Yeah.
Okay, very big number. Bro, can the clone the ones that fly? Because I might need one of them with these prices.
So wireless.
I'm not going down that path right now. I'm not going down government conspiracies right now, because that's where we're going. For a possibility would be 10 to the power of under 40. Yeah, you're saying because if it was like random, right? Something like nothing if it was random. No, because something couldn't become from nothing. Something had to have happened. They're disproving the Big Bang Theory every day. Yep. Every day it's becoming more and more that like things existed before we knew they existed. We just put a word to it because we couldn't figure it out. Our timeline didn't start early enough, but is starting earlier every day as they discover new things. They're constantly moving the needle backwards. Mm-hmm. And slowly but surely the Big Bang Theory will probably be ruled out officially in science someday, because they are moving back fast, very fast. They're not moving forward away from it like they said it was going to happen. They're moving backwards. So,
Cosmo, did you even have a coffee today?
Yeah, this morning. And then I had a bunch of caffeine afterwards.
It's literally coffee and conspiracies.
Well, we got into this whole thing, and I couldn't.
I'm holding down half this fort. I've been caffeinating for the both of us.
Well, you know what? I could go get one right now, but I'm sure you're pretty close to
flip tables. Hang on.
Slamming your head on the desk.
And you kiss your mother with that mouth?
I could go make one right now if I wanted to. Eat my ass.
Yeah. I actually need to eat because I haven't eaten yet today.
That's fine. In about 30 minutes, have a Fortnite co-stream with Spent and Court if she's still here. She just came into the channel, so if she ditches us, I swear to God, I'm going to go to Australia and find her.
I think she said she was coming back. She said she was lurking and she'll be back.
She's probably here right now. I hope she's here. Well, you want to go eat? Are you good? You hit 3.5 hours. You full? You want to go eat?
I do need to go eat.
No worries.
I'm already malnourished. Let's not push the envelope.
No worries. So I check Kate for YouTube for doing our thing. Feather, cancel here. Future me who's editing video. If you see Feather, you need to stop here because this is end of video. Feather,
Not right now.
stop. This is my cut. Feather for editing. So guys, we are going to end the conspiracy theory conversation, all the fun things we did today, all the exciting kind of banter, all of the back and forth that we had. Thank you everyone who participated in chat. I really appreciate you guys for that. No bad blood or hate or anything with anybody. This was just great conversation, and the conversations need to happen for both sides. We're all one people. We're all poor as shit. We're all poor as shit.
This is how we learn and
we
question.
all live. We all have to live at the bottom of system together in the sewers of life. So we need to learn to live together and have these conversations because we're all poor together. But that being said, guys, give me like 2 seconds.
We're all going down this drain together.
I am going to say goodbye to Miss Cat. Thank you again
Yes,
for joining
goodbye,
us
Lovey.
because she's got to go eat. I really appreciate you for being here. We love you. We appreciate
Bye,
you.
honey bunny.
Oh my god. And yeah, let the match begin. I can't put that on YouTube. I think I stopped with my feather. But I will see you later. Guys, I'm going to stay on, though, because we got more stuff to do.
Bye.
Bye, friend.